You know, I know Carbon isn't going to hear this exact message right here, but I've been thinking about the music of this game, and there's like one song that I remember really liking in this game, and it's this one. It's the one that just kind of plays when you're out and about. I love this song. I love more cowbell. Oh, sorry, let me try that again. Oops, that's the wrong button. Trying to remember my buttons. There we go. Okay, we're cool, we're cool. Everything is cool. Right, that's why things are weird. Okay. We have kind of fixed a few things. Not really, but you know, whatever. Like, LNA is still level billion and wrong.
Yes.
Although, speaking of which, actually, I need to adjust her spells now that I'm thinking about it. So, this is a good time to go ahead and show off how this works. So, clerics and wizards both do the same things. They have to memorize spells in advance. So, this is all the spells she has memorized right now. Just give me a moment to completely empty her list here. So these are the spells that she has access to in any given day. You'll notice she has far less casts of the spells than I do. That's kind of the nature of it. Now, we do have the ability to go ahead and extend some stuff, too, like Summon Creature extend, Storm Avatar extend, etc., etc., etc. Now, we're going to turn her into a buffer slash, kind of a support person. Although she does have one ability I really like. It's called Elemental Swarm. You summon 24 hit die worth of air elementals to act as a loyal servant until it dies. If it dies before the spell ends, 24 hit die water elemental is automatically summoned to replace it, and then earth, and then air, until the spell expires. This is a nice spell. So we're going to give her mass critical wounds, is this... No. Yeah, by the way, she has mass drown. This is funny. So you have a fortitude save to just not get hit by it. But if you don't manage the fortitude save, you have 10% of your current health just gone. As an AoE. Yeah, so Massacre. I am going to go and give her one Elemental Swarm, because that is a nice thing. And... is this what I think it is? I was hoping to adjust which spells she has known, but whatever. I actually have a feeling, by the way, I looked a little more into this, Corellis. I have a feeling it might because I have the GOG version. Because most of the people who are reporting success are either using Windows 10, which I am not, or the Steam version, which I am not. So that's a DPS spell. I don't want that. Let's go ahead and just do that. So we got now level 9s. Alright. +4 strength, constitution, and dexterity. She also can cast Swamp Lung, which allows her to flood the target's lungs with stagnant swamp water. If they fail the save, they are prone to a coughing fit for 1 to 6 rounds and are helpless during that time. In addition, in a failed save, the subject contracts Filth Fever, which causes 1 to 3 strength and dex damage. Cute. So, but again, we're setting her up basically as a support, even though she's got spells like Bombardment and Earthquake. We're going to give her some cures. We'll go down here. Let's see. I do want a Crusade on the list there. And is this... Yep, so this is an extended regenerate. So normally it lasts a minute. Alright, hang on. Maybe the extended lasts a minute. But either way, it's 10% of your health every round. Okay, yeah, so... And then extend... I forget how much extend actually extends it in this game. Hang on. There's extend spell. There we go. Duration doubled. So for 2 minutes, every round you regenerate 10% of your health. Yeah, we're going to do that. What do we got here? So we've got... Where's regeneration? There's generate, true seeing. We have to start being picky. See, this right here, this is the problem of wizards. I get 4 spells per day in the level 7 category. 4! This right here is exactly why I don't like playing a wizard. It really is. Preparing a spells is kind of irritating, but mostly, for the most part, you're going to know what you're coming up against to some extent or another, and you can prepare for most things. So that's not a huge issue. But that's just irritating. Alright, and then we're going to give her... Does she not have any restoration? Does she seriously not have any restoration spells? No, she does have restoration. Which we're just going to fill that with restoration, because we're going to need that. I suppose part of the limited spell slots problem is dependent upon the nature of the encounter design, really. Like, a properly designed encounter won't really have this issue, because you won't need more than 8 spells to get through the encounter. In my experience, most encounters are not designed that way. They require, much more than 8 spells to go through a single encounter, so... But yeah, this is basically limited MP, which just drives me batty, personally. By the way, hello everyone, who we got here? Blackfile, Leander Corrales, Platty, welcome back, Zilok, Darth Tyron, more cowbell, and I guess that's it. But hi everybody. What's the Heroes in Another Dimension stuff, Zilok? I feel like I'm missing some context there. Don't want to do that. No, let's give her some spell resistance here. Let's just give her... Well... we're turning her pretty much into a full-on healer, because we're going to turn sand into a buffer. So, we'll go ahead and just put heals there. And at level 4 and under, it almost doesn't matter now what I put in here. So... let's give her... these. And then... and then the cheap heals for when we just need a little bit of healing. Because at a certain point, lower level cleric spells reduce in usefulness substantially. Like level 1 spells. Woo! Cure light wounds. That's it. Although, cure light wounds. And level 0, cure minor wounds. There you go. There's your spells. Okay. She's good to go. Let's get a quick save it so I don't have to do that again. Spider skin. Ah! Oh, let's switch back to me. Sorry. Well, as I believe I said yesterday, Platty, we're very big on being welcoming and inviting and respectful and generally awesome around here. I have said this before without hesitation. I have the best chat on Twitch. You guys are awesome. Except for you. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so now let's actually do stuff. And try not to sneeze. Well, now, what's all this? Traveling circus? Easy. One of them's a harborman. Harborman? I don't care what a swamp farmer can do. Seems to me there's the makings of a joke in you four. A dwarf, a tree whisperer, a dirt demon, and a swamp-smelling harborman walk into a tavern. Well, no, we may have walked in, but it seems to me someone's about to go flying out. The first one to attack us dies. I mean, we're not here for a fight. We're not? Did you hear what he called you? He might as well have asked us to break his legs right then. Our leader's right. We don't need to bring the attention a fight will bring. There's no reason to fight at all. No reason? Are you mad? Of course there is. Aye, of course there is. The dwarf has it right. Ah, you be quiet. Agree with me again and I'll knock your teeth out. Alright. I was just saying I agree. Oh, that does it. I warned you once and now you're going to get it. How often does this happen? Trust me, things were slowing down a bit before we came here. And now it's about back to normal. Alright, let me knock their teeth out. Or not. Ah, that was a fine bit of sport, wasn't it? Yeah, alright, it turned out alright, I admit. We didn't need to fight Kelgar. Next time, rein it in. Try to steal from someone when they think you're going to attack them. If we're done making more enemies, can we move on? Fine, I say we try another tavern. There's bound to be more drunks needing a punch or two. And ignore the fact that they seem to have died. Just don't think about that. It's okay. They're in a better place now. If they were good aligned. If they were evil aligned, they are screwed. They're gonna wish they were still here being beaten in the face by Kelgar if they end up in, you know, the ninth plane or whatever. Okay. Well met. I'm Eduardo. I mean, Edario. If you need armor, you don't sound happy about needing armor. Isn't lack of competition a good thing? Yeah, I guess, but there isn't much of a call for my work in a small town like this. Well, why don't you go to a bigger city? Well, I need someone to work for first. In a big city, it'd be harder to compete with all the other armorers. Well, I guess that's true. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to let you guys decide. So we can be... So this is... We're actually wearing nothing right now. Woo! We can wear... Hello. There we go. We can wear this outfit. There we go. We can wear this outfit. It's the first outfit. It's the second outfit. It's the third outfit. There's the fourth outfit. Oh, apparently the fourth and the first are basically the same. So which one would you like to do? Do we want to look decent? Or do we want to look ridiculous? You be the judge. Welcome to Branson's. Sorry, I was trying... Oh, hang on. Welcome to Branson's. If you thought you'd shopped at the best, you haven't been to Branson's yet. Apologies, I was just trying out my new slogan. What do you think? That was the worst slogan I've ever heard of. Right, it's missing a little something, isn't it? I better keep working on it. It seems Highcliffe has become quite a hub of activity since the patrols in the high road became scarce. Good time for business, I tell you. You'll find I have a pretty nice stock of goods around here. With all the travelers coming in, I've managed to keep my hands in some real bargains. What's been going on in the city? Well, I'm sure you've heard about the attacks on the ships. No one can travel north unless they're willing to risk the high road. That's out of the question. There's that William fellow up and disappears the old castle ruins. And of course, people keep whispering about ghosts and other strangeness. What do you think about all this? Well, to be honest, I think the attacks on the ships are just a prank that's gotten out of hand. And of course, the people are going to see strange figures lurking around in the dark at night. We got a bunch of sailors stranded here, usually drunk. You got another way? Besides ship? Sure, if you got a small army with you. Until they get more patrols on the road, ship's your best bet right now. Doesn't really help you since they're all grounded. Blah, 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 blah. I would like to buy nothing from you. Okay, so you guys said the fourth one, which is this one. Gera, look who it is. Ilmater has answered our prayers. You probably don't remember me. You saved my life back at the Weeping Willow. Actually, I do remember you two. I'm glad to see you made it out safely. Well, this is our home. We were returning from a visit with one of Zakin's relatives in the West Harbor when you arrived at the inn. We don't wish to impose, but we could use your help again. We still have some money. No money. What's the problem? Well, the stories have you assisting many strangers since we last met. I'm grateful for your help. 2 days ago, our son Andrew ran off to the old Highcliffe Castle ruins with one of his friends. They were forbidden to leave the village, but they slipped away without us noticing. It's hard to keep eye on them with all the troubles about. And they haven't returned, right? No, it's been days. We asked the village elder to send some men to look for them, but he refuses to risk anyone while the Highcliffe is in danger. With Junie's husband disappearing at the ruins as well, the elders become too cautious. We've been hoping another such as you would help us. Well, I mean, this is Faerun, so you sitting around waiting for an adventurer to show up is not exactly a bad idea. Although, the exact alignment of that adventurer can vary. I could just as easily be an evil adventurer to be like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. And then slit her throat. And then go kill her son and then rob both of them. That probably sounds horrible, but that's a thing. Evil adventurers are a thing just as much as good adventurers and neutral adventurers. So, anyways, I'll look for them. Don't worry. Oh, sorry. What Nishka says is, we're wasting time looking for 2 kids? We have more important things to do. Kelgar says, oh, then it's a good thing it's not your decision, isn't it, tiefling? Don't start with me again, dwarf. I know this isn't our problem, but I have to help if I can. Fine, fine. If you want to waste your time, so will I, even if I think it's a dumb idea. I, for one, approve. Even though I just lost influence with Nishka. We need to boost our influence with Nishka. Because, yeah. There's a reason. There's a very specific and important reason for boosting influence with Nishka. Also, good morning, Bregwin. And hello, Carbon. You missed my comment about the music earlier. Yeah, we're at -3 with Nishka right now. Why do I think chaotic evil is the worst kind of evil? Well, of course, as always, that depends on my own interpretation of the alignments, which I will answer more once we get out of this town, because we're going to have a lot of boring stuff to do in a dungeon after this, so remind me of that question when we get to the dungeon. You there, help, please. What seems to be the problem? There are noises coming from inside my house. It must be thieves. Oh, and do be careful. There's a lot of valuable things in there. Yeah, sure, whatever. Alright, what do we got? That's a lot of sailors. Quiet, you fools. You're making too much noise. Shove off, Dooley. Don't recall no one putting you in charge here. Shove off. Shove off, taste steel, dog. I ain't afraid of... Oh, blast, it's the militia. We're hanged men for sure. Stand and fight, cowards. We'll kill him quick and dump him in the sea. No one the wiser. I mean, if you'd surrendered, I was going to let you live. Now you're going to burn to death. I hope it was worth it. I wonder who they were worshipping, because that's where they're going. I'm sorry, I know that sounds like such a weird thing, but given the nature of this setting, I always find myself wondering who these people worship as I am killing them. Not because I care about, their religion or whatever per se, but just because I want to know where they're going to end up after they have died. Don't worry, Carbon. I'll make sure to be very boring about it, so nobody's interested in it. So there were some sailors looting your house. They were not in the mood to surrender. Oh, you did a thorough job of destroying my home, no doubt. Here, take some potions. No, go away. Nice guy. Thanks, buddy. Jackass. Here, Kelgar, take some potions. What, like a neutral evil campaign to go to? Actually, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Because if you do too much, then you are screwed. Especially if you're only like level 2 or whatever. That could cause some issues if the local guard gets up. Junie, please, I'm doing the best I can, but we can't risk exploring the ruins. But where else could William have gone? You must do something. And what would you have me do, Junie? Sacrifice the entire village of safety just to yawn? You will be to blame if William comes to any harm. Oh, I will not have my child growing up without her father. I mean, you could get another father, I'm just saying. They're replaceable. What? I understand her anger. It would be tragic if William were hurt or worse. But she must understand I have to put the safety of the village first. Yeah, I don't care. I'm just kidding. I do actually care. What happened to make her so upset? Oh, her husband has gone missing. He went to gather some stones outside the village, and now he's gone. Alright. So... Let me leave. I'll look into it. You certainly travel with interesting companions, so I suspect you're quite capable of handling yourself. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I think we've just been insulted. Just take it as a compliment, you two. I didn't mean it as an insult. In fact, I assume you're all quite remarkable individuals to be able to get past the typical prejudices and band together. Oh, well, that's all right then. So, yeah, let's do this. Where should we start looking? Farms outside the village. Chandra's farm. Chandra. Is that Chandra Jarrow? Because that sounds familiar. You should start a search with her. She may know something that would help. Or you can simply wait there and ambush the lizard folk should they attack. Allow me to mark the farm. Good luck. Okay, so I think we did that. Oh, we didn't do that. Hang on, one more thing. Are you the captain of the Double Eagle? So, my father said you could get me to Neverwinter. Deegan, huh? Still playing farmer in a swamp village. I'd be happy to grant you passage, but as you can see, we're stuck for here now. No ships in or out. The lizard folk are attacking. Trying to prevent the attacks. The many starred cloak are here. They're worthless as they always are. Deegan and I used to adventure when we were younger. He got tired of being punctured by nasties. We got enough gold. I got into the shipping business. He went to settle. I guess that's it. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about the Shadow King. I mean, Jarrow. You know what I mean. When we get there. Although, actually, we've kind of already talked about the Shadow King, but we will discuss him again. Don't worry. I can't even tell what those are, Braven. Okay. Let's go to Chandra's farm first. Let's see what's going on here. Ah, right. I got this set up for a reason. Let's go. Go. Whoops. Wrong button. Damn it. Let's try that again. Where are we in the plot? Well, at the moment, we're trying to get to Neverwinter.
Looks like this is the place. But where's...
Who are you? Did Maine send you? Whoever you are, you don't look much like a farmer to me. Any reason why you're gracing me with your presence?
Is there a reason he should? You don't look worth it.
Nishka.
Well, it's just the truth. And she asked.
Maybe you all better tell me what you're doing here. There's been too many visitors lately, and I really don't have the patience for it anymore.
Too many visitors? Like that's an issue you're having? Well, I could tell her the truth, I could lie, I could ask, or I could stab her in the face. I do like face stabbing. It's one of my favorite things to do. But we'll tell her the truth. She seems like a nice person. The Elder asked us to come track down some lizard folk.
Good. Glad to see the Elder finally got wise enough to protect the grain shipments into Highcliff before winter hits. I've been alone out here ever since the others abandoned their farms and took shelter in Highcliff, and I don't know how much longer I can hold out.
I'm sorry, why are you staying here?
Well, I'm not here by choice. I'm supposed to be making the merchant run through Port Last and Ember right now. But with the recent troubles, I can't leave the farm, let alone take the trade road from Highcliff. I can't even move my harvest into town. And if I can't sell it, I won't make it through the year, not to mention the town's counting on the trade. I have friends in Ember and Port Last expecting shipments this season.
Interesting. So, you say the merchant road is blocked. You're talking about the one to Neverwinter, right?
It's worse than that. I don't know if it's more lizard folk, but no one's come back along that road for a while now. Merchants who take it just vanish, wagons and all. It happens so suddenly and quietly, and the bodies are never found. If you take the road, it's the last journey you'll make. The whole village, and even as far south as Fort Locke, is being cut off. If it keeps up, we'll starve, or worse.
So I'm looking up something because I remember she plays someone in the DCAU. I'm trying to remember who it is. Is this it? Yeah, she plays Circe in the DCAU. Not a major character, just someone who's there, which is where I've heard her from. She's actually apparently in a decent amount of stuff, and she's a professional singer. Weird spread of actors in this one. By the way, hi, Angred. So have you been attacked yet?
Not yet, but it's only a matter of time. No one's been killed, luckily enough. Mostly buildings and houses have been burned, but no deaths.
That's strange. I would have thought the lizard folk would have tried to kill the farmers first. They tend to, eat people, from what I've heard.
I agree. It is unusual, but the lizard folk may be afraid to push Highcliff too far.
Too far? After all this? Don't know how much farther these people can be pushed?
Shedding the blood of another tribe is different in lizard folk culture, while destroying objects and homes is more, well, territorial is the best way to put it.
Well, no one's been killed yet that I've seen. Just a lot of farms burned and grain destroyed or stolen.
That would also explain why they destroyed the ship, but allowed the sailors to swim to shore, by the way, if you're paying attention. So, how many farms have been... Oh, wait, I already asked that. When did these attacks begin?
A few months back. I don't know where they've all come from, but suddenly they're swarming all over the place.
A few months ago. These tribes may have been driven here from the mare.
What do you mean?
Tribes of lizard folk have left the mare recently, and I don't think it's by choice. Something's driving them out. From the looks of it, they may be ranging farther and farther in search of food.
Well, I'm more than willing to leave them alone if they left us alone, but when they start burning homes and crops, well, that's when I get worried. I have a feeling it's going to be a rough season ahead, and they're not making things any better.
Have you been attacked?
Not yet, but it's only a matter of time. No one's been killed, luckily
Yeah, I
enough.
already said that.
I agree.
Too
Shedding the
Well, no one's been
Repeat.
killed yet that I've seen. Just a lot of farms burned and grain
Do
destroyed.
you know where the attacks are coming from?
No, but it must be someplace close by. At first, I thought their lair would be close to the water, but now I'm not so sure, and I wonder if they've set up a camp just for attacking the outlying farms. I doubt it's their main lair. It's too far from water, but I've seen fires up at the old ruins. It's only been in the past few days, though, which is strange since the lizard folk were attacking long before that. It's like something's going on up there. I haven't been able to leave the farm long enough to tell anyone. I guess I was counting on the Elder to actually send help.
Right. So, tell me about these ruins.
The ruins up there are of Highcliff Castle, destroyed in a war some time ago. Lots of magic was thrown around, even talk that demons and devils were summoned and fought each other.
I thought I felt something. It's in the ground beneath my feet. Traces of it, anyway.
There's lots from the war still buried around here. Some farmers can't take a plow to some fields without turning over an old weapon or two, but that's not what has me worried.
You know, I wouldn't mind owning that castle, maybe improving it over time. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just spitballing here. I like owning castles, honestly. I'm just a castle kind of guy. Frig Castle. Sorry. So, you said if the lizard folk are at the ruins, it would cause trouble for you and the lizard folk.
Well, yes. I suspect there's a reason that place was never rebuilt. It's always had a strange history. Everyone in Highcliff knows to leave it alone. And there's more than lizard folk troubles nowadays. At least from the tales coming from the Southern Road, don't know if you've heard. There's been sightings of forms walking in graveyards, strange shadows. Some of it could be just local drunks talking, sure, but I've heard tales from merchants as far south as Fort Lock.
Any graveyards in the area?
Plenty, but no marked ones. So many battles were fought here. If the dead decided to walk, there'd be an army in no time. That huge gravesite near Fort Lock, that's one of the smaller ones from the war.
There's an old saying, Vigilant. Nothing worthwhile in life is free. Have you been to the castle recently?
Not for years. Some of the children from the village said there's tunnels beneath the keep. You can find an entrance near one of the ruined towers. But aside from seeing the fires up there, I haven't wanted to risk leaving the farm long enough to investigate.
Anything else you can tell us about the area?
Not much more to tell, but if you want to help, let me just mark the ruins on your map. Why do you have that strange look on your face?
Okay, this is funny and all, but why do we just let them do this?
What? Where did they come from? My barn. And the harvest. I let down my guard for a second and they were waiting for it. Waiting until I got distracted.
That would be me. We are very successful adventurers. I'm sorry, I didn't actually mean to distract you, Chandra.
This farm is all I have. And now that my harvest is gone and with winter coming, look, if you're going to help, do it. I'm so tired of Neverwinter and Fort Locke and the militia and the Elder and all of them promising to help us out and nothing ever happening. Just once. Just this once. If you can actually do something for Highcliff, for the farmers here, it'd be long past due.
By the way, this is a good time to remind you guys that well, I'll talk about it in a moment. This is a good time to remind you that Lord Nasher is an incompetent boob. This man is basically in charge of this region, the city-state of Neverwinter, and as her frustration gets across, and this is a good way to give us, the ground-level perspective here, but we've been seeing this from every NPC so far. None of the officials have been doing anything. We have encountered, 2 reasonable guards so far? In addition to 3 who tried to kill us for basically no reason, other than the fact that we happened to be in killing range. 1 who was more interested in his own personal aggrandizement than actually doing his job. 4 that are doing absolutely nothing whatsoever because they're too lazy or scared, and so forth and so on. He is a baboon in a crown, I agree. And I just point this out because I wasn't just blowing smoke when I was making fun of Nasher's leadership style. There's a reason I have the legitimate viewpoint that Lord Nasher is a terrible leader, and this game adds to that substantially. So, I'm sorry, Chandra. I just want to say that really quick.
Back again? What do you want now?
I was just going to apologize.
So am I. Anything else? I have work to do.
Okay. Goodbye. Well, there's a concept to Coda which is never really explored, which is basically the idea that you can de-level if you don't practice. You could just slowly lose levels if you retire. I don't know how valid that is. It's just something that I've heard mentioned a few times. So the idea could be that Nasher basically de-leveled from 8 down to whatever. Possible, Leander, but again, I put that squarely on his shoulders. A good ruler should be well aware of the dangers of having, inaccurate intelligence and people underneath you leading you misinformation to try and control you. In short, Nasher is, at best, a well-meaning puppet for the actual nobility and aristocracy of Neverwinter. That's the best, that's the most positive portrayal of the man. So, Oh, whoops.
The land is against you!
Stay back. Slan not fight you. Slan must get help.
Calm down. I'm not here to fight you.
We don't? All right. It's your choice.
So, what kind of help are you looking for?
Slan must ask Chief for more warriors. Dead ones kill many clansmen already. More warriors trapped below. Slan leads clan here to sink human boats. Dead ones attack Slan's warriors. Slan escape. Slan must ask Chief for more warriors to fight.
Slan must stop speaking in third person. God, I can't talk this morning. Well, no, exactly, Carbon. That's why I don't think that's actually true. I think they're all incompetent, and Lord Nasher just happens to be the incompetent one on top of the heap. But then again, I'm an extremely cynical person when it comes to government, so don't look at me. Anyways, so I'm sorry, your clan is responsible for all the troubles in Highcliff?
Yes. Humans invade our lands. Hunt us. Humans need to be stopped.
Well, I could kill him or I could work with him. Will you take me to your chief if I help your buddies?
How can Slan trust you? You might attack Chief.
I mean, I haven't killed you yet, and I could if I wanted to.
Slan believe you. Help save Slan's clan, and Slan take you to Chief.
Hope you know what you're doing, lad. Letting him go is one thing, but fighting side by side with lizards?
Don't let dwarven suspicions bother you. I trust you.
Aw, thanks, Nishka.
I'm getting tired of all this talking when we should be fighting. Lizard or no, let's get on with this.
Dead ones have Slan's men trapped below. You help Slan save them. Slan take you to Chief.
Okay. No influence changes. I may have to cheat Nishka's influence up, by the way. Because getting influence with her is actually kind of a pain. So, yeah. At least if you're playing a good person. It's not that she leans herself towards evil, it's actually more like she leans herself towards self-interested. And I don't really play it that way. So, Fiendish, I asked you to remind me of something now that we're dungeon crawling. These are always the best times to just chat about whatever. Dungeon crawl sections. Hey look, zombies. That smells good. Yeah, get up, break out the corn, guys. Sorry. Slan, really?
Master of the Fifth Tower, you grace me with your presence.
Yes, I am certain. The raising of the army and the attacks on Fort Locke, how do they proceed?
There have been complications, my lord. One of our disciples near Fort Locke has been slain. It shall not affect our plans at the fort, nor the raising of our troops. Our power runs strong here. The war our master pursued here so long ago still fuels our magic. Our enemies shall not prevail.
As long as Neverwinter is occupied, then you have served me, and through me, your master.
We are all in the service of the King of Shadows, Lord Garius. Sometimes we forget he is all around us, and there are no ranks and hierarchies before him.
Think what you will, as long as you carry out my orders. Ah, it seems someone else has come to pay their respects, priest. Perhaps the same ones who slaughtered the priest at Fort Locke. I suggest you deal with them before you share the same fate.
Well, okay. So that's the Black Garius. He's the bad guy. He's also weird. He's not as pathetic as Malgrim. I mean, as of this point in time, he already has approximately a third of the screen appearance of Malgrim. That's not a joke. Malgrim appears in 3 scenes. And Black Garius is going to show up in substantially more than 3 scenes. But, I've never really bought into Garius as a interesting villain. I don't know. Just my take on him. He's never really been like, ooh, it's the Black Garius. Oh my god. Anyways. So in order to properly... wrong one. And probably explain why I don't find... or why I find chaotic evil the worst, I have to explain what chaotic evil is to me. To me, chaotic evil is the type of evil that doesn't really have any point or purpose to it, and is evil basically for its own sake. Obviously, we would have to define evil to really go into that, but the general idea is self-interest at the expense of others, cruelty, pointless greed, avarice, that kind of stuff, right? That's cruelty. That's evil. Chaotic evil does evil because they want to, because they like to, because they enjoy it. And as such, for me, chaotic evil is the worst of the 3 evils. Yeah, Darkspawn is actually a fantastic example of what I would call chaotic evil. And yeah, chaotic evil usually is also at the detriment of the self. Bobby Kotick, I would call chaotic evil. Now, neutral evil I usually define as self-interested. By the way, corn, Mike's corn, as in corn on the cob, because it's a barbecue. Anyways, neutral evil I would usually define as someone who is self-interested to the point of primarily focused on the self. In other words, they're not particularly inclined to hurt others or to be cruel or to try and, seek out, harm or dominance or power or whatever. They just care about themselves. Someone who is neutral evil is selfish as their primary personality trait. Make sense? Lawful evil I've already described. Lawful evil is evil with purpose. Lawful evil is someone who,
Looks like this lot needs
is willing to do evil, whether for its own sake or otherwise, in the search of some other goal or purpose. Actually, trying to think of a good example of a lawful. I mean, Palpatine is probably the example of lawful evil, but that's not a good example because there's too many different Palpatines. I'm trying to think of a good example of a lawful evil character by my definition. Because again, these are only my own definitions, and they are not absolutely truth because everyone disagrees on alignments. We already talked about that. Funnily enough, actually, Irenicus is one of the first things that occurred to me when it comes to lawful evil. Although, Kingpin is a good example of lawful evil. Thrawn, yeah, I would say Thrawn qualifies as lawful evil. At least EU Thrawn. I don't actually know the AU Thrawn all that well, although we'll be talking about the AU Star Wars when it comes to Lore Week this coming week. Please look forward to it. I can keep going with the alignments if you want me to, since I don't have much to talk about here.
Well. Looks like this lot needs some special attention.
Or maybe I'm about to have a cutscene. Hey, I saved them. Yeah, I want to talk to your chief. Okay, let's go. Well, if you want to interpret it that way, sure, Fiendish, but I don't.
Slan, you bring these warm bloods to our lair? Why? They say Slan's warriors fought with Slan against the dead who walk. In return, only ask to speak to Chief, and Slan honors bargain. Slan is foolish, but bargain cannot be broken. What do you want, warm blood?
See, for me, the 9 axes don't really align perfectly. In other words, lawful doesn't mean the same thing, neutral doesn't mean the same thing, and chaotic doesn't mean the same thing across the board. Same with good, neutral, and evil. I just look at each of the 9 as their own little thing. That being said, I usually tend to define lawful more as purpose, structure, organization. In other words, someone who plans ahead, someone who has ideas, someone who has ambitions is someone who would be lawful. Whereas someone who just kind of drifts and roams and actively doesn't really think about tomorrow so much as today would be more chaotic. Make sense? I know that's not the only interpretation because I've engaged in alignment debates before. But yeah. So I want you to stop attacking the ships.
No. This is our new home, and warm bloods always hunt our kind if they live on our lands.
Right. I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Warm bloods think all lizard folk are the same. Always want to kill us. Clan not interested in warm bloods, but not want to take risk. We must chase them from our land.
Okay, isn't there anything we can do to stop your attacks?
Warm bloods in village will always cause trouble. The clan must make them leave.
I do find the fascinating the way that the lizard mindset here works. Obviously, we see them as a lawful people, since, as he mentioned earlier, a bargain cannot be broken. We also see, and this was mentioned earlier by Eleni, they're not interested in killing the people that are on their land, even though they're actively trying to remove them from their land, because that's just not the way they think. It's more in their clan mentality to try and remove the pieces of their society, to try and get them to convince them to leave, rather than just straight up killing them. I only point that out because that makes these more reasonable than a lot of creatures that could be mentioned, and this is why we have the availability to talk our way through this, rather than, we'll just kill all the humans and then it'll be fine, in which case we just come in here and, mass murder our way. You'll also notice, though, from a game perspective, this kind of removes any particular aspect of moral dilemma from this circumstance, because what this means is these guys, while they have caused substantial damage, have gone out of their way to avoid bloodshed. And in so doing, just walking in and killing them all would be far less of a good act and far more of an evil act than otherwise. So, shrug. So, if the village agrees to stay away, you'll stop the attacks.
We not trust humans, and clan not big enough to attack. Maybe humans go away if we break boats.
I could convince the village to leave you in peace.
If you promise this, clan will stop attacks. But if Warmbloods hurt member of clan...
I mean, you'll let the village elder know, so he can stop it.
Chief, trusting you. Do not fail, or Warmbloods will suffer. Go now.
I hope you know what you're doing. You may have talked down that lizard, but you don't know if the village elder will go for it.
Sure, Rockhound. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to convince him.
The important thing is that we have come halfway in this, which is more than the villagers were willing to do. There is enough room in Highcliff for both tribes, lizardmen and villagers.
Trust me, if you were able to get this tribe to listen to you, the elder should be no problem.
Huh? Well, we should have just stormed this place and settled the matter. But can't change that now, though, can we?
So, funny story, Fiendish. In the actual Dungeons & Dragons manuals, they say this alignment means this and this alignment means this. I didn't have access to those manuals until well after I was introduced to Dungeons & Dragons. So, basically, I heard the terminology and its application long before I heard the definitions. So, naturally, I did what I always do and came up with my own definitions. I admittedly have a tendency to do that, and, I mean, that's just kind of the way I am. I'm not going to try to defend it. That is just a quirk of my personality. I prefer my own definitions. So the lizard folk have a deal they want to make with you. You cannot trust those beasts. They have just enough intelligence to avoid killing their own young. So you're dumb, first of all. But second of all, they've agreed to leave Highcliff alone if the village does not trespass into their territory. How are we to know the village is so close to their lair? Surely it'd be easier if they were to find another home. The thought of lizardmen living so close, I don't like this. They are the ones who fled the mare. They've just resettled. On my word, they just want to be left alone. Their word may be good enough for you, but I and this village will have to live or die by such a decision. Okay, let me lay this one out for you. I don't have a sword, but I do have empowered magic or missile storm. So your choices are take this deal or empowered missile storm. Your choice. Very well, I shall trust your judgment on this. You have already done more than my village than I could hope for. Forgive me my obstinance. It's the weakness of an old man. Thank you. I have a ship to catch. Actually, I still have to do another quest, though, so we're going to go do the other quest before we move on, because we never found William. So, in my opinion... okay, this is just the way I look at this here. If all debates, all arguments, boil down to definitions, Fiendish. I've actually used this analogy before, so please forgive me for repeating myself. It's like speedrunning. If I speedrun Mega Man 2, and you speedrun Mega Man 2, and you're like, I got 16 minutes, and I'm like, I got 32, then you're just going to be like, well, you're just terrible, aren't you? What strategies were you using? Well, I made sure to switch to this ability here and this ability here, and you're like, why were you switching abilities? You're not supposed to do that. My point being, we have to determine the rules, a common ground before we can actually determine a proper comparison. If I'm doing a different category than you are, then we need to establish that early. It's the same thing with debates. We have to establish the rules and exactly how that works before we can sit down and actually discuss and debate the matter. So, all it really comes down to is establishing things up front. That's one of the reasons why most of the time when people ask me a question, my first question in return is, so what do you mean by such and such? Or how do you define such and such? Or do you like wolves being burnt to a crisp? Yeah, last I checked, Greater Missile Storm automatically gives a plus 20 circumstance bonus to diplomacy. And Intimidate. And a couple other things too, I think. Anyways. Well, I hope the heist went well, Carbon. Yeah, by the way, there is such a thing called true neutral, which is neutral. Now, funnily enough, most people actually agree on a relatively similar definition of several of the alignments, especially the four spokes. Lawful good, chaotic evil, and lawful evil. Very few debates about alignments entail those four alignments. It's all these five in the middle that tend to cause issues. And neutral, well, I have heard more arguments about... Well, that's actually not true. I've heard more arguments about chaotic neutral than anything else. The second most argued thing I've heard is neutral. That is to say, true neutral. My own definition is actually quite simple. Neutral is someone who is effectively listless. They don't really care about being organized, but they're not particularly inclined towards not being organized. Take that. They also aren't really good people, but they aren't really evil people. In short, I would say personally that someone who is true neutral is someone who lacks convictions in anything, really. So true neutral is just kind of there. Now, chaotic neutral, the reason that one is so argued is because quite a few people have said for years and years that chaotic neutral means someone who is crazy. And that's one of the most common definitions you'll see of chaotic neutral. They do random, wild, crazy things just for the heck of it. And they do crazy good things and crazy bad things. They do whatever they want to. You know, that's... Yeah. Do I operate off the idea that alignments can have subcategories? Well, I operate off the idea that alignments are like rough guidelines rather than true definitions. So, yeah, I suppose. Where the heck is he? Did I just miss him? I had to have just missed him. I have seen that happen too, Eingrad, and it actually irritates me. I had a player once, this is more recently, this is only like 8 years ago, who basically said, I want to play a chaotic neutral character. And I basically sat her down like, okay, we need to talk about that. Because, again, I've seen so many instances of people abusing the chaotic neutral concept. She described the way she wanted to play her character, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's chaotic neutral, I'm with it. And yes, I've also seen plenty of people play lawful good as lawful stupid. We actually talked about that during Shadows of Undrentide. There's also lawful awful, which is a very common archetype, unfortunately. Did I just miss something here? No, it doesn't look like I did. Well, she wanted to play her character as chaotic neutral. The idea behind chaotic neutral for me, and in this case for her, is the idea of someone who Someone who is basically a bit of an anarchist in terms of mentality, in terms of ideology. Someone who basically actively disagrees with the idea of organization or planning ahead. Someone who is very adaptable to the point where they feel that way as their primary focus. Not adaptable leaning towards good, and not adaptable leaning towards evil. Just adaptable. Effectively someone who is more interested in the what than the how. Who's Wilhelmina? I know it sounds stupid, but I don't remember that name off the top of my head. Yeah, all three of the chaotics arguably are impulsive. I would agree with that. Chaotic evil, chaotic good, chaotic neutral. Well, it sounds familiar, and that's why I feel stupid. If it was just nothing, I'd be like, oh, okay, who's that? But instead it sounds familiar, and now I feel stupid. Oh, okay, yes. I do know who that is now. And you are still writing, right? It's very important to me. And that's actually not exaggeration. The more people writing in the Imperium, the better. Well, of course, Fiendish. And that's because, see, okay, so Fiendish, I can tell just by the way you've been arguing this that you either are or are arguing for the idea that lawful is a matter of laws, organization, as in organizations, I should say. And chaotic is anti-organizations. For example, see, this is the thing, and I've heard the most common debate I tend to hear when it comes to the alignment debate is that people disagree on what chaotic and what lawful mean. Some people, like me, think that chaotic and lawful are more about mindset. Some people think that chaotic and lawful are about laws, about their adherence to the idea of writ law and what you should do. So, for example, I've heard some people say that Joffrey would be lawful evil. Now, I firmly disagree with that. For me, Joffrey would be chaotic evil. But you can see, and I acknowledge this, I'm not trying to say that they are wrong, because, again, this is all a matter of definitions, but you can see the argument that Joffrey is lawful evil. By contrast, then, I'm trying to think of a chaotic example. I know some people who would say that, oh, I've got one, James Raynor would be chaotic good, as opposed to, being lawful good or neutral good. Your parents are worried about you. I'm not going to yell. Why'd you come out here? Da was telling stories about how he met someone he met in the mare and how they fought off 1,000 lizardmen and evil dwarves. It didn't sound all that hard, so Alex came out here to look for some so he could fight them too. Your father was telling stories, kid. No one's able to do what he said. I don't know, lad. Maybe not 1,000, but we can certainly... Shh. Oh, what was that for? But Da said he saw it with his own eyes, and Alex and me are old enough to fight too. Yes, there was a fight, but there weren't 1,000, and the two of you shouldn't be worrying your parents like this. It was you, wasn't it? You're the one that saved Dad in the mirror. Even if I was, do I look like I take out 1,000 enemies at once? Don't answer that. No, I guess not. You're not as big as Da said you were. Right. Now, can the two of you find your way back home? Yeah, just please don't tell me I got in trouble. They don't need to know how close you came to being eaten. Now get along. You handled that quite well. Do you have children of your own? I've raised 3 at this point in my life. But no, that I know of. I could also say, I've already got 3 children I'm leading around as is. But no. Oh, that's the life. A whole clan of grandkids sitting on your lap while you fill their empty heads with tales of adventure. That's right, I'm gonna sure to tell them the stories. On the off chance I get tired of cracking skulls, I need to find a comely dwarven wench and make me a whole clan of iron fists. Nishka says, I really don't want to hear this, especially anything about comely dwarven wenches. So says the girls with the horn and the tail. Don't be judging dwarven women too harshly. What they lack in stature, they make up for in spirit. Well, judging from what I've seen, I believe our noble leader will make an excellent parent. Yeah, I don't know about that. What is that? One of the dialogue options here is, was that an offer? What would druids know about raising children? More than you'd think. We druids study nature and know much more than simple mere villagers. Bah! If you want to raise your children like a pack of wolves, listen to a tree worshipper. And if you want to raise your children like idiots, listen to Kelger. We should get moving. This isn't the safest of places to stand and talk. Now, Baldur's Gate did this too, but this, in my opinion, is probably the single biggest thing that really differentiates Neverwinter Nights 2 from Neverwinter Nights 1. Every now and again, depending on who you have in your party, people will just chat with each other. Your party members will just chat with each other. I like that. I like their little dialogues. It helps flesh out the characters. It helps add to their personality. The way they talk with each other can actually change depending on where they are in their character arc as well. It's good stuff. I like it. My only regret is I wish more of it was voice acted. Yeah, Party Banter, exactly. By the way, hi, LM the Great. How many streams did you miss? Well, I've been streaming this since last Friday, so it's been about a week now. So, make of that what you will. I'm going to... You know, I can't tell how much you're kidding or not, Carbon. But one of the things I've said more than once, and I stand by this statement, is that, why do I do it on 9? Or do I want it on 0? Or I could do it on 7? But I want all of these spells. I want all these spells! Why can't I have all of my spells? We'll do it on 7. So I need to get rid of one spell. Let's get rid of Sunburst. Honestly, that's just not that great. So we'll put Cone over here, and we'll put Expeditious on 7. I know what you're thinking. Why would you put that on 7? Well, I have the 7 key hotkeyed on my mouse. 7, 8, 9, and 0 actually are all on my mouse. Okay. Back to Highcliff. Well, goodbye forever, LM the Great. And yeah, Leander. Well, no, I agree. I'm sorry, I was talking about Dragon Age Origins. I agree that this is in many ways the lead up to Dragon Age Origins. I get that. You know, some of the people who worked on this game, not the Obsidian people, the BioWare people, also worked on Dragon Age. Dragon Age was being developed at the same time. Obsidian and Dragon Age were working very closely together. Blah 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 blah. Now, I personally, the way I like to think of it, this is just my mentality, is we've got Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, and Dragon Age Origins. All three of these games are, functionally, the same type of game. And I don't mean they're all CRPGs. I mean, the approach to the design of the games is similar. Multiple options when it comes to resolving quests, interesting and well-developed characters, lots of party banter like we've talked about, decent amount of cutscenes presenting the story. You know, just all of the stuff that we've been talking about relating this to both Baldur's Gate and Dragon Age Origins is similar through all three games. Now, in my opinion, each game in that list is also better than the previous one, probably mostly as a byproduct of both the fact that, you know, they were made later by almost the same teams, actually, but also the fact that, you know, technology has moved forward. Dragon Age Origins, Baldur's Gate 2 could not have been made as Neverwinter Nights 2 back in the late 90s. It wasn't possible. The tech didn't exist, and so forth and so on. This is one of the reasons why I say that a proper remake of Baldur's Gate 2 would probably look a lot like this. And a remake of this game would probably look a lot like Dragon Age Origins. Anyways. You know what? This is dumb. Now, I think, based on my own statements many, many times, I've made it very clear which of those three games I consider to be the best. But again, I freely acknowledge that a lot of that is a byproduct of, you know, having worked on it before, the development teams getting better, and the advancement of technology and time. It's worth noting that Dragon Age Origins, my favorite of the three, had a 6-year development cycle, which is huge in any era. Even nowadays, most games don't take 6 years to make. So, That being said, I do agree with Carbon on one thing. It's a darn shame that Neverwinter Nights 2 doesn't have the same kind of reputation that, frankly, it should. Because Neverwinter Nights 2 is an excellent game, in my opinion, as I've said many, many times, even without Mask of the Betrayer. And I want you to keep in mind that excellent game part, because that's kind of important, and I want that to be in your mind. Now I'm going to go talk to these people. Hi. Thank you so much for finding the children. Yet again, you've shown me the meaning of courage. Ilmater bless you. I'm just glad the boys are safe. Andrew shall be raised to have the same honor and character you possess. He will learn from your deeds. Are you sure that's a good idea? I don't understand. What do you mean? Well, from talking with the kids, it sounds like you've been telling tall tales. And not telling telltales, which would be much better. Just what have you been telling them, Zuckin? Well, this is rather embarrassing. I just wanted my son to grow up with the courage I lack. I was hoping he'd find you as a role model. Ah, you fool. Two of us are going to have a little talk. Just be careful. But if you're going to tell them stories, tell them it was 2,000 lizardmen with dark dwarves riding on their shoulders. No reward necessary. Really. Won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for bringing Andrew back. Yada, yada, yada. So, did the elder turn you black in his peas too? What did he ask of him? My husband's disappeared. Your wagon is still here. Wouldn't he need it for heavy stones? What? He must have accidentally left it behind. He was quite eager to get started. I might be able to track him down. Okay, now I have the Williams quest. I was wondering why I didn't have it earlier. So we're gonna go back to the ruins one more time. We gotta find old William. I don't remember where he is, but I swore we should have already encountered him, which is why I was so weirded out earlier. I know, right, Angrod? As I mentioned earlier, I do rather enjoy the new music. The town music. This song right here, listen. I love that. Anyways. There, see, I knew he was going to be down here. You notice I even came down here earlier. Apparently he needs to be spawned by taking the quest. I didn't actually know it worked that way. Who are you? How did you find me? Calm down, your wife sent me. Junie, I should have known she wouldn't let me go without a fight. But I'm not going back. I've made my decision. This clearing will serve as well as Highcliff for a home. I'm sorry, what are you doing? Your wife is worried. I couldn't take it anymore. The farming, the child, never having any time to myself. She wouldn't even let me spend a few evenings at the Blue Rooster. I decided to start a new life elsewhere. And for now, this clearing will do. Tell Junie you found me dead, killed by bears. Here, take my wedding band. That should convince her to stop looking for me. We can do a couple things here. What would you do with this guy? Because I know what I'd do. Stabby, stabby. Ravnik is one of those settings that I actually don't care for that much, even though I applaud it, I respect it. Mostly because Ravnica is a little bit too for me. Way too much out there fantasy. I'm not into out there fantasy all that much. Well, obviously in game. Imagine for a moment you're a level 20 sorcerer, mijo. Death is literally crackling at your fingertips. See, the weird thing is, my first thought, admittedly, is screw this guy. Like, you could basically force him to go back, but, I mean, that's not really going to do anyone any favors. Because he's not a good father, obviously, and they're not going to be better off with his presence. So, you know. Death. I'll tell. Oh, sure, I'll tell your wife I found you dead. But I won't lie. And then I'd let him run, screaming. And I'd wait for a minute while he runs, because I got plenty of range on my spells. And then I think I'd hit him with Weird. Or wait, was it Went? Wail of the Banshee. Because I want his last living memory to be of a woman screaming at him. I'm not lying for you. Please, I can't go back. Even if I wanted to, Junie would be furious with me. I really want to kill this guy, but... Listen. You're dumb. I want to just be like, listen, William, you're dumb, okay? And I understand that's a burden. Let me cast... I have Owl's Wisdom. Give me a second. Bwong. Okay. Well, you have a modicum of intellect now that you're listening to me. The ability to process more than one thought at the same time. That is not, I'm hungry. I want you to understand that you're dumb. Go fix it, or die. I suppose I can't just leave her to fend for herself. Very well, I'll return. So, do we tell Junie the truth? Now, this is actually a far more complex moral quandary. Because this is one of those will the truth help or hinder kind of questions. So what would you do? Would you tell her the truth about why he left? That question's going to depend on who you ask, Platty. So, in my opinion, some games have aged well, and some games have aged poorly. Usually, there's only two things I consider when it comes... Yeah, exactly, Mikes. There's only two things I consider when it comes to whether or not a game has aged well or not. Graphics, which kind of matter, but far more importantly, the interface. And when I say interface, I mean every method by which you are playing the game, which is actually three separate things. The control scheme, the interface itself, and then the HUD, the HUD, the heads-up display. All three of those things determine how well I think a game has aged. For example, I personally think Dragon Warrior 1 has aged very poorly because its interface is kind of awful. But on the flip side, I think, say, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, granted that's a SNES game, has aged quite well. Here, let's use a NES game. Mega Man 5, I think, has aged quite well, because everything is still readily available and easily to understand and blah, 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 blah. Content is different. Content, in my opinion, is good or bad, and does not age well or badly. It is simply of a sufficient quality, regardless of when it came out. If a game's core content was good 20 years ago, it is good now. And if it was bad 20 years ago, it is bad now. The only thing that is a problem is how you reach that content. Graphics and interface. Anyways, I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if... See, again, this is actually a surprisingly large philosophical quandary. Because the idea is what this question really is it more important to know the truth regardless of circumstance? In other words, is truth the highest priority on the list? Or is the general betterment of the people the highest priority on the list? In other words, is it more important that these people work things out in a lie, assuming that that's how that goes, that they do generally work this out? Or is it more important that the truth is known, knowing that might destroy the lives of both people? So, that's why you play it now, Carbon. That's really, dude. I can go back and play Mega Man 5 right now. I could do it within about a minute. It would take me about that long to load up the game, and I can play that game, and it still has core good content now. Yeah, exactly. See, what Fiendish is saying is actually what Carbon's referring to. I'll give you a direct example of that. The old Ultima games, like Ultima 3 is my personal example, because it's the only one I know reasonably well at all. Ultima 3 is sand before water, because that content was not good then and is not good now. But at the time, I didn't know any better. So at the time, it was like, yeah. No, that's an even more interesting question, Leander, because Leander is basically asking the prime directive question. And you all know where I stand on that one. I don't believe in non-interference. I don't. It is so fundamentally against the very way that I am mentally and emotionally. However, it is worth noting that is a quandary that needs to be debated on a case-by-case basis. Do we get involved? Now, in this case, we are involved. By virtue of simply being here and having reached out to this, we are now involved. If we had not gotten involved, he would have just died to the wolves or something out here, and she would have never found her husband. The end. So we are now involved. So we have to decide how much further we're going to be involved, because it's not like Leander's question is invalid. Because if we decide to hide or tell the truth, either one, that is a decision that we are making to become more involved in this circumstance. The only way to actually bow out of this at this point is to basically just be like, nope. So, having reached this decision, do we get more involved by allowing him to continue in his deception, or do we get more involved in trying to tell her the truth? This is one of those fascinating moral quandaries. I love this. There's so many ways we could debate this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and basically cheat here, because you guys know me, and I like to think of everything as a case-by-case basis. So, I am going to tell her the truth, but not because I believe truth is some absolute sacrosanct thing. It is specifically because it is my personal perspective that a relationship, especially one between two people who are married or whatever, together, romantically, as well as a relationship between a family, him to his son and her to her son, needs to have truth in there in order to operate properly, in my opinion. If it does not have truth, then it is wrong, just to be completely blunt about that. Now, that is, of course, just my opinion. And I'm not saying that is correct. That is just my opinion on the matter. Make sense? I agree with what Eingrad said, by the way. If there was no kid involved, this wouldn't be anywhere near as much of a quandary. It would just be some guy running from his wife. Oh, no. That doesn't happen every day. No, exactly, Fiendish. That's my mentality. If the truth was not brought to light, then they're not dealing with the problem. That's my mentality. They should... If you're going to be with someone, truth and communication are really big things, in my opinion. You have to tell them the truth. Yeah, it's in the interest of total communication is the way I tend to preface such statements. In the interest of total communication, blah, 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 to make sure that the other person understands why and where and what. Therefore, if we tell her the truth, the possibility exists that they can work through this, or maybe they won't. But if they do not successfully work through this, then there's a decent chance they never would have. In other words, we're trying to make this... I know, Corellis. We're trying to make this situation be resolved now, no matter which direction it goes, rather than putting it off. And that is ultimately the choice I'm going to make here. I'm going to tell her the truth, because I want whatever's going to happen now, rather than 5 years from now when the kid is at the point where it's going to really damage him to have his parents break up, you know? I was 4. Anyways, so... I am not lying. Moving on. My extended spell has long since worn off. You remember back in the day when having good water effects by itself was considered a selling point for a game? Because I do. This would have been like early 2000s. Back when nobody could do good water effects. By the way, hi, Eitri. Rain and snow. Honestly, I'm not sure, Carbon. Really, I'm not. I would be astonished if we don't finish this Lorerun sometime this week. As in, the week between now and next Friday. But I'm really not sure how long this is going to take. I mean, we just spent like 5 minutes discussing the morality of truth and interference on a random side quest. I have no idea how long this Lorerun's going to take. And Neverwinter Nights 2 is a pretty big game, and I don't remember how long Mask is. We're not even at Neverwinter yet. Thank you. So you should let him relax a little bit. And okay, well, whatever. The end. So yes, let me leave, let me leave. No reward, let me leave. So, speaking of which... Ugh, my stomach's already churning. How long is the trip? Oh, do be quiet, Kelger. Enjoy the waves while you can. I'll say. It'll be nice to travel without being hunted for once. Meanwhile... I do too, honestly, Fiendish.
The shard you have found, show it to me.
Yes, Sierra? Sierra? Is that what you sought?
No, it is much more. Forget the betrayer. Forget our vengeance. These shards, they must all be found. Whatever forces you need, we shall grant you, but these shards must be ours.
Of course, Sierra. It shall be done.
I can't help but stare at his teeth every time I see them. Meanwhile, again...
Dalrin. Lord Dalrin now, I hear.
Who's there?
Come now. You remember? Has it really been so long?
You... But
Oh my
you
God.
died at the battle
It's
at
the King of
Westfall?
Shadows.
Delayed, perhaps. My imprisonment was most distressing. But dead? Now how could I die with so much left unfinished? And there is so much more left to do.
Honestly, there's so little information on the real difference between the Githzerai and the Githyanki. I can't even tell you which one is which side. I know the two sides, I just don't know which one's which.
So this is Neverwinter? Suppose it's passable for a city built by humans. Can't say I care for it, though. You want a proper city, you build down, not up.
This place feels unnatural. The wood and stone, it's as if they've been silenced.
I wish you'd both be silent. The entire trip was just one long whine from the two of you.
Oh, me stomach feels funny. This boat rocks like a baby's cradle.
This water is so unnatural and deep, not like the swamp of dead people I grew up in. Not that I've got great memories of this place, but it's home. So, where are we going first?
Ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A. For why I like this game. This water's so deep and unnatural. Not like the swamp of dead people I'm from. Anyways. My Uncle's Inn's nearby. Let's head there first.
Not sure I can stomach any food yet. A stiff drink and a good tavern brawl, on the other hand. I say lead the way. Besides, I'd welcome a stable bed after being trapped on that filthy excuse for a boat.
Oh yes, and I know the Githyanki are astrals and the Githzerai are limbo. And I know one of them believes in killing everything in the universe that might someday enslave them, and the other one believes in just leaving everything well enough alone. And of course, Gith was the one who is on the kill everyone side, and Zamaron, or what the hell his name is the other side. So welcome to Neverwinter. It looks a lot better than I remember it, especially given the state of the city the last time I was here. Good God. I mean, yikes, right? You'll notice that it is still reasonably varied, despite the fact that this is still the docks. One of the things that I heard some people complain about is the fact that they didn't basically directly map the way the certain sections of Neverwinter looked in 2 based off of 1. I don't mind, especially since I just think the city looks better in 2. But what the hell do I know? Boop. Hang on, let's orient myself here. Now I know where I'm going. Let's go meet Kara. Or Cora. They actually say it both ways in the game. Yeah, there's a lot to do here. So there's also Bishop, who we'll never talk to ever.
Well now, what can I do for you? Bit of venom for the belly, perhaps? Or maybe a tankard or two to shave the edge off your day?
Yeah. I'm looking for my Uncle Duncan.
Uncle Duncan? That sounds a bit familiar. If you're here to collect on some debt, I'll tell you that Duncan's a drunk fool without 2 coppers to his name.
2 years, more cowbell. It's been 2 years since the end of Neverwinter Nights 1. Yeah, hi. I'm his nephew. I'm related. Deegan sent me.
Deegan, eh? So the time's come, has it? Trouble's chasing on your heels, and you barely know why. Suppose Deegan told you less than half of what you need to know, then sent you packing. Don't take it hard. Done it to me twice in my life. All for good reason. I can probably guess why you're here, but why don't you go ahead and tell me anyway?
Yeah. Silver Shard, Death, Doom.
Oh, did he? Nothing more than I did years ago. Plain silver near as we could tell. You and those shards were all that were left of that West Harbor battle.
Duncan, I thought you said that shard was magic, didn't you?
Trace of an enchantment on it is what that eel sand said, but nothing of importance. Probably residue from demon's fire, or maybe wizard magic.
Demon's fire? Sounds important to me.
And that, Sal, is why you are cleaning tables and I own this place. Those shards were magic, yes, a trace. But again, it was sand, and he's a fool. Anyway, barely worth mentioning. More sentimental value than anything else. That really why you came all this way? To hear about your mother?
Quick side note. There are many negative words I can ascribe to sand, but fool is none of them. Me too, Garvin. So what does my mother have to do with this?
Yeah, your mother, Esmeril. Since you were asking about the shards. What, Dagon's still keeping that inside? It's a wonder he doesn't crack down the middle. But you know, I have no call to say that. I think that's why he buried that first shard, and gave the other one to me.
Sand is one of my favorite characters, Baroness. You don't gotta tell me that. I mean, Kelger and... Kelger, Nishka, and Sand basically duke it out, and someone else, and another person. All 5 of those characters duke it out for my favorite companion in this game. And I still like most of the companions in this game. With 2 noteworthy exceptions. Can anyone guess the 2? So I'm saying, how are these shards of my brother related?
I think you might have been better off being raised by wolves if Dagon didn't share that. There's a lot I'm sure he never told you. But listen, it's his place to tell you, not mine. He'll tell you when he's ready, I think. But it's best you hear it from him. Let's stick to the shards for now.
No, it's Kara and Bishop. Yeah, it's really obvious. Who's Sand?
A hedge wizard. Somehow set up shop on the docks. But it's telling enough he can only run a business down here in the crack of Neverwinter. Got a dry wit, and he'll always rub you the wrong way. So his name's well chosen. Still, I suppose I trust him enough. And having a wizard close by certainly tends to keep fools from causing too much trouble. Well, me and Dagon took the shard to him back when he lived in the merchant quarter, before his run of bad luck. But he couldn't get much from it. Just faint traces.
This is a good time to mention, both Kara and Bishop are probably the biggest sufferers of the cut character content. But Sand is also affected by that, because Sand's backstory was tied into Kara's. I'm not going to get too much into that right now, but all you need to know right now is that Sand actually is a very good wizard, who was a very well-placed wizard, who was basically rising up the ranks, and then he got in the... to summarize, the two of them just kind of... Okay. Sand ended up getting on the bad side of Kara's father. Kara's father was Sand's boss. And now Sand is here in Neverwinter, and his reputation is in tatters because that's how the wizarding world works. See, if you're, this is actually a funny thing if you think about it. There's a wonderful bit of politics when it comes to wizards, sorcerers, clerics, and magic users in general. Basically, the wizards are best to be described as the aristocrats, but they're not the ones with the real power. Not really. Instead, the sorcerers tend to be the ones who are the ones with the real power, at least when it comes to certain circles. And I know this is a weird thing to comment, but the point being, a wizard can ruin your life. A sorcerer can kill you or worse. Make sense? Anyways, so, the shard totally has power now.
Here. I've always kept it close for some reason. Didn't want to leave it out of my sight. Seemed unremarkable. But I find that sometimes time will tell. Had Sand examine it a long time ago, but he turned up nothing.
Well, with two of them, he might get a better reading.
Well, it's worth a shot. But don't pay him any coin in advance, that's all I'll say. In fact, that Viper would be best off.
Ah, it seems I've arrived just in time to deflect the usual barrage of slander from the local innkeeper.
Sand.
Yes, it is good to see you're still sober enough to recognize me, Duncan. Past the stale beer, vinegar, faint sweat, failed aspirations, unwashed tunic. I thought perhaps you had already had one tankard too many for the day, but why, your guest here has the smell of a harbin about them. Faint, but there. I thought Duncan was keeping company too good for him. Now I see I was right. Duncan, you could learn a few things from your guest.
Still passing off those 2 copper fairweather charms to the local Sand?
You have no appreciation for my talents, and after all I've done for you. To think you could survive a fortnight without my ale purgative. Why, you would be buried in the tombs with the rest of the Neverwinter traitors. A betrayer of barkeepers everywhere. But enough about you and your adventurous exploits on the tavern floor. I heard my name mentioned, and oddly enough, almost in a tone that suggested I could help.
This here's Kin.
I'm not really seeing the family resemblance.
And we need your help concerning the shard. Both of them.
Shard? That chunk of silver you showed me so long ago? I do hope you're not going to try to pawn it to me again. I am no longer interested. Besides, as I recall, you said the piece of junk had sentimental value, which upon viewing your establishment is perfectly understandable. Besides, didn't your uncle or cousin or brother or whatever make off with the other shard? I thought you only had one now.
It found its way back, so to speak. We need you to look at both of them again. Properly this time.
Oh, very well. Give them here and let me see what my keen arcane senses can determine. Well, it seems to have some resentment to being scryed. That is quite different than last time. Are you sure these are the same shards? The power in them? Why, it's definitely stronger than last time. Much stronger.
Oh, so now they're magical. I'm not paying you for 2 failed divinations, you charlatan.
It's not a matter of divination, you one-tankard drunk. There is something about these shards. Without knowing their history, even my considerable talents cannot unlock their mysteries.
So, this is Fred Berman, who plays Sand. Unfortunately, he's in hardly anything. He's apparently someone in Alan Wake, which I don't really know particularly well, so I can't comment on that. The only thing I know him from is actually the Max Payne series, where he plays Vinny. How could you not sense magic in the shards? I can tell just by holding them.
Because he's incompetent?
Duncan, the more I speak to your kin here, it's evident where the sense in the family went. Since you seem to have been given all the brains of the family, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But I do know the shards did not have the same strength the first time I examined them. There could be something about you that causes them to resonate, but I have no idea why that would be.
So is there anyone here who would know the shard's history?
You could try and speak to Aldenon, but I don't think you'd have much luck reaching him. The Black Lake District is closed down. Aldenon lives in the Black Lake District, you see, and now he's trapped there. The Watch has it locked tight. No one going in or out, no messages in or out, even for the nobles that used to live there. Quite cryptic, really.
Okay. Like, do we have a why? I'm guessing I'll have to jump through a wall of fire to get in, right?
I heard about that. Lord Dalrin was killed, wasn't he? I've heard rumors, but no official word of what happened.
As have I. Not only are the Watch not talking about it, but they even called in the Cloak Tower mages to investigate, which means sorcery or demons were at work.
Demons? Closest I've ever come to demons is Dagon's tales about the battles down south near West Harbor, when there was that trouble with the King of Shadows.
I'm sorry, the King of Shadows?
Some sorcerer, I believe, had a number of demons and shadows at his beck and call. Not many tales left about that period of Neverwinter history, oddly enough.
But you say this Aldenon might know more, Sand?
Well, if you're not a member of the Watch, or know a secret route into Black Lake, then you're out of luck. So it seems like you have no choice but to let me examine the shards at my leisure. I'll need to hold on to them, of course.
Wait, Watch or secret route? Not bad ideas. Either way, the coin lands. Hell, there's Marshal Cormac. He's currently at the City Watch Post, and I know he's in bad need of an extra sword arm down at the docks.
Cormac from Fort Locke?
Yes, I heard he got back to Neverwinter recently. Surprised he even made it with the troubles I've heard around Fort Locke.
Trust me, you don't know the half of it.
Cormac's a harborman, too. And folks of the harbor are as close to kin as you can get out of the mare. He might be able to take you into the Watch. And from there, speaking to Aldenon shouldn't be too hard.
So, what if I don't want to join the Watch?
Then you need to find another route into the Black Lake District. And that means dealing with other folks that try to control the docks. Moya and her gang.
Oh, there's an idea, Duncan. They probably were behind the Watch closing the Black Lake District in the first place.
If you can't tell, there's a choice coming up. Which one would you pick? Because we do have to choose one of them, if I'm not mistaken. We have to work for the Watch, or we have to work with the criminal thugs. It's worth noting that neither of these are really good or evil, with a few notable exceptions. This is lawful or chaotic.
Well, she's got thugs all over the docks. But finding one who can get you to her?
There's Caleb. He used to try to get me to pay him gold for protection before I told him about the wards I'd inscribed on the building that caged the Guardian Elementals. Long story, but quick resolution.
Caleb, maybe. But I don't trust that harbor rat to give you a fair deal. And the price will be steep, in bodies or coin. He doesn't like being the only one with blood on his hands.
Doesn't sound like someone we should put our faith in.
Obviously, you've never dealt with the Watch in Neverwinter, Kelgar. Dealing with Caleb is probably our best chance.
Still, the chances are simply talking to Caleb will make you want to kill him, so it seems a clear win to me. If you do speak to him, though, be sure to do it downwind.
So, joining the Watch, upholding the law, or descending into crime.
That's pretty much how it stands. You can find Cormac in the Watch Post, near the Dolphin Bridge that leads to the Merchant Quarter. He needs help, so it shouldn't be much of a tough sell to join up.
Caleb should be lounging around the corner east along the main road. Just follow the smell. If you want to join with him, he'll probably ask you to hurt or kill someone, so be warned.
I'll mark both on your map. Help you get your bearings.
Well, you can certainly find your way into trouble from here. Me, I will head back to my lonely merchant existence. Should you need my expertise, simply ask. But just in case, bring a great deal of gold as well.
Well, there you have it. Talk to Caleb or Cormac. Cormac is at the watch post near the Dolphin Bridge. Caleb should be lounging down the street east along the main road. The docks don't see too much of the arcane. I guarantee your talents can make an impact, for or against the watch. But while you're here, feel free to make yourself at home. Also, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. Your companions are welcome to stay here as well, even if you're off on some other journey like the one that sent you here. They're all welcome to make themselves at home whenever they're not traveling with you. That way you'll know where to find them if you need their help later. Sound good?
Translation, this is where the party members will be when they're not in the party, and where we can swap party members easily. So, did anyone ever come hunting for your shard?
No, not that I know of. I mean, I've kept it in the back for years. Barely even thought about it till now. It is odd that they seem to be after yours. Maybe there's something different about the one you have compared to mine. But then again, my shard didn't have any traces of magic until yours showed up.
Okay. So what's going on in Black Lake exactly?
Well, there's been some tales floating around that a nobleman, Lord Gentry, was murdered there. But the Watch isn't saying much. Either because they don't want to spread tales or they don't know much. There may have even been more troubles, but I haven't heard. Either way, Black Lake's locked up tight. You won't be able to get in unless you're a trusted member of the Watch. Or a really good thief that runs with the right circles.
You know, I'm a decent... Even if I wasn't cheating at this point, I'd be about level 5, maybe level 6. I could have teleport. I'm just saying. Or, I don't know, stone shape. Or several ranks in climbing. I like this game, but there are so many other ways to get into this district. And the game's just like, no, you have to go down one of these 2 routes. Anyways. So, demons, sorcery?
Well, I don't know about that, but if the Cloak Tower mages of Neverwinter are involved, there may have been magic or demons involved in Gentry's death. But don't trust everything Sand says. He only knows about half of the story at any given time.
So what about this King of Shadows? I hear he's a warlock with tattoos on his head.
Oh, that? That was only the first thing that came into my head when Sand mentioned demons. The King of Shadows was some sorcerer, I believe. Had a number of demons and shadows at his beck and call. Not many tales left about that period of Neverwinter history, oddly enough. Haven't been demons anywhere near Neverwinter since the Troubles years ago, during the battles down south near West Harbor. That's why there's so many graveyards and battlefields along the southern road, and buried in the mare.
Yeah, exactly, Shaludo. This is the GM saying, okay, I've prepared for you 2 paths in your adventure. Pick one. Okay. You know, you have a lot of trophies here.
Yep, a lot of stories hanging on these walls. Shed a lot of my own blood, and others in the past. Now it all goes into the flagon.
You put your blood into the flagon?
Well, if you can call it that. Me and some old friends, now gone, made quite a company along the coast. There were 5 of us to start, but by the end there was just me.
Well, I don't want to hear this music anymore, so...
What did you want to know?
Tell me about my mother.
Only as much as Dagon allows. He keeps his past close, despite how it keeps everyone else from him. I knew your mother, though. I know you lost her early. Terrible tragedy. During that attack on the village. But that's really Dagon's place to say, not mine.
Okay. Actually, that would make sense, Leander. But the type of GM I would let my players know about that. In which case, the players would effectively have 3 paths to progress through. They can join the Watch and legally get in. They can join the Thieves and bypass their way in. Or they could try to deal with this on their own, knowing that they might get caught in the process and, deal with the consequences of that. Now, I'm pretty sure my players wouldn't take the 3rd option because I would make it very clear any attempted intrusion that trips the alarms would be seen as something related to the murder. Ergo, they would actually be a problem. So unless they feel like they can actually deal with getting rid of those alarms themselves, they should probably go with the other 2. What my players actually do, there have been plenty of times my players have completely surprised me, so maybe they would leave town. All right, we're done. Bye. Whee. I've had that happen before.
Yes.
Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to do... So I guess I could talk to Bishop. Ugh. Hi, Bishop.
I didn't ask for your company.
Well then, peace! I'm out! Yes, I want this party. Okay. And yeah, I do like to be dynamic for fairly obvious reasons. Let's go talk to Sand first, because he's awesome. No, I'm kidding. This is Neverwinter Nights 1 music in here. Why is he injured? Oh, I know why he's injured.
Ah, well met again. And what can I help you with?
Have you ever heard the term Kalak Cha before?
Well, it's not elvish. Too harsh and guttural. But not as crude as orcish. The word sounds like a title, though, like betrayer. Perhaps a linguist would know more, but not I.
Okay. You have anything for sale? Oh my god, you have incredible crap for sale! What is the Armor of Loyalty? And why do I have this? And why is it worth 10,000 gold? Jesus. I didn't need a party anyways. No, I should go get the party. This is actually not the first time I've made this exact mistake. Nasher's awesomely awful. Yes, there is Crooked, but no ETA. We're basically going to be doing a premiere run of Unity and Syndicate someday.
Our companion Kelgar mentioned West Harbor to me. I heard what happened there. To your friends, the other villagers. The attack by those creatures that forced you to leave.
There was no choice. I couldn't allow myself to place the village in danger.
Still, to leave your home. I sometimes forget the attachments one can put to a place. With my kind, especially those that listen to nature, there is no one place that we call home. Everywhere we go throughout the land is comforting, with its own sounds and life.
I want to take you to downtown LA, and just wait for a minute. Just sit there until she starts screaming, and then we'll take her back. Sounds like you're not one to tie yourself down.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. The mare drew me more than any other place, so I did not travel much beyond its edges. We deal with few outside of our own circle. I have not seen my own kind in many years, and I spoke with the circle only rarely. But surely we were not here to discuss how I feel about things. Was there something you needed?
Yeah, I'm actually curious why you haven't been home in years.
I have followed you since you left West Harbor, your village that borders the mare, and I followed you as you explored the ruins that lie outside your village. It is an ancient place, older than the mare itself. It is not a place where even the circle were willing to tread. It's difficult to hear the mare there, so we avoid it unless necessary.
Right. So were you responsible for the badger and the rooting?
I was the one who sent the animals of the forest to your aid, though there are fewer of them to answer my call than in days past. And yes, I summoned nature to aid you when the second group attacked.
LA is a swamp filled with dead people. Yeah. Hang on. I have an idea. We haven't done the test yet, have we?
Is there something you need?
Apparently. Damn it, Tazara. Well, thank you very, very much, Tazara. As ever, I much appreciate that support. What would you like to put that towards? Because you've been awesome, and I hate you for constantly giving me money, but I still very appreciate it, especially since, I'm moving, hopefully, in about 2 months, so we'll see. Either way, what would you like to put that towards? So, why are you trying to help me?
My reasons are my own, and I will share them when I wish.
Right. Influence failure.
Then, you must learn patience and trust that I am your ally in this, until the end.
A little too loud.
What did you wish to know?
Yeah, I want more influence for you. I mean, from you. I want to give you power, Elena. No, Can you tell me about the mare?
The mare is no longer a place I know well. And where it once teemed with life, now it has fallen silent. Something stirs there, but I know not what.
You sound frightened.
It was not always the case. I have spent many years in its depths, learning its ways. And there was much to learn. Always.
Could you tell me about it?
It's a tale for another time. And there are more pressing concerns.
Of course.
Perhaps in time we may discuss it further.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Bombardment. Hang on, I'm at critical HP, guys. What in the world? I don't want baby oil all over my furniture, though, Carbon. Oh my god, it really is bombardment. What the heck, guys? Hang on. You can have the file up. So that's... Let me put Carbon's thing towards his insane request. Thank you, Eingrad. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carbon, even though you're putting it towards something that I have no idea when I'm going to have the time to do. Or how. What the heck is Tower of Time?
Oh, welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Thank you. Again, Carbon. Does that mean I now have baby oil all over me? And I missed one at Renzada. Thank you very, very much, Renzada. Yes, I very much appreciate those subs. I really do. I even appreciate DMC 5s. Trinius's. So that's Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and then Trinius, which is DMC 5. Thank you, Renzada. Thank you, Darth Trinius. Thank you, Shadow Machine. Thank you, Tazara. Thank you, Eingrad. Thank you, Carbon. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Shadow Machine. And thank you, Tazara. Appreciate it, guys. What the heck is Tower of Time? Tower of Time. It's an RPG, apparently. Looks like a top-down RPG. Yeah, it's a straight-up top-down RPG. I don't even recognize this. Someone must have suggested it for it to be on the list. No more. I can't take any more. Although I suppose I might go ahead and get lunch. I was actually going to skip lunch today. No joke. I feel safe saying that now, because I don't want to beg. It's because the music, right? That's because I switched the music over.
What did you wish to know?
If you know of a presence to the mayor, can you guide us to it?
The mare is no longer a place I know well. Something has built a black wall. Something beyond which none of the circle could pass.
Hopefully you'll
Even with
learn
the secret
something.
ways, all it touches dies. And it is slowly growing, advancing from the heart of the mare and driving life before it. And without life, without the land to aid us, one without the means to cross that wall is threatened to be consumed by it.
I mean, that sounds awesome. No, there's no good sushi places that deliver around here, Baronessa.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
So is there any chance I could convince you to put any of this towards anything else, Carbon? I'm just wondering. I have a pool right here. I've been putting it all into the same thing. Yeah, I'm getting it with Crater Mystic's Missile Storm right now. That's literally what's happening. Thank you, Geludo. Thank you, Carbon. Geludo has put that towards some cleaning equipment. Thankfully, I've got some disinfectant wipes right here. So it's okay. We'll be able to, get all this baby oil off my head. Hang on. I mean, might help if I actually pull them out. Give me a second. Yeah, bleach. I get these bleach wipes. These are great. You can just kind of... There we go. There we go. I'm going to smell weird for, like, a while now. Thank you, both of you. Geludo, do you want to put that towards anything?
Of course you follow me. They all do.
Oh my god! Is that no, that's actually yellow, Fiendish. What does it look like on camera? Oh wow, that's almost straight up invisible. Yeah, no, you can kind of see it's yellow, see? But apparently yellow is something that it's picking up. Especially way back here. Thai food? There's a Greek place that delivers here. And it's not super cheap either. And by super cheap, I mean super expensive. It's not super expensive. What was that? That was Carbon again. It was Carbon again. Carbon! Thank you again. Carbon, really. What am I going to do with you guys? What's this? Aw. Here it is. I was trying to find the Greek place I just referenced. Are they open? They are open right now. I could get Greek. Okay, I think we're done. I could get McDonald's. Did I just say McDonald's? I could get McDonald's. They do deliver here, really. In fact, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Arby's, Checkers, Crystal, Subway, I think that's it. Oh, Wendy's. Did I mention Wendy's? They all deliver here. I did Fiendish. These are my variance mixes. Although I have actually done one Cordance mix on an Oblivion song. If you'll give me a moment to pull it up. I'm actually very proud of this. Because most people... Well, one of the things I like to do most with my Cordance mixes is either make them completely different so you can barely tell it's the same song, or make it sound so similar you can't even tell there's differences unless you were to listen to it side by side with the original, in which case you're like, oh my god, you know. So this is actually a Cordance mix. This is I did a lot of stuff with this one. But you'll never tell, trust me. You should make a straw poll. Sure, why not? So we got that as an option. This is an option. What else? Who else is available right now? Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I can just picture all the people on YouTube being like, God, this guy sucks. Why doesn't he just go without eating? Honestly, if I could, I would. No joke. I don't like eating. I mean, actually, that's not quite true. I don't like having to eat. Eating alone, what's the point of that, right? Eating's a social thing. I love going out with friends and family, though. That's awesome. Although, the last time I went out, right before we saw Lego Movie 2, I didn't succeed at paying for Third's dinner, which really upset me. I like giving. Not really in the mood for that, so hang on. So what else are our options right now? Give me a second, give me a second. That's what the slider below the video is for. Yeah. So we got this as an option. This is an option. And then... Why is this not... I'm sorry, one moment. Stupid thing. Then... Yeah, but I always feel weird eating on camera. That's why I usually turn the camera off when I eat lunch. Twitch social eating. I don't know why that took off. I really don't. Like, I don't quite get it. Okay, so I'm giving you a list of everything I find I would be down for eating right now. That's relatively cheap, and that delivers right now. And I think that's everything. Double checking. Give me a moment. I guess there's that too. Okay, here's all our options. There's a couple. Here's the vote. Vote it will. Okay, back to the game. Let's go talk to Kelgar.
Something you need?
Aye. Who are those? Why are you so eager to fight?
Eager to fight? Well, I suppose I am, if you can call it that. I mean, it's all in good fun. Some take pride in craft.
We've actually already
Every tavern's an
talked about this.
opportunity, I see. Well, I don't know. Thing is, I'm glad it happened. It was my destiny.
So?
Well, you see, I used to win. Almost undefeated. But there was this time in a tavern far from here that I chose a fight that ended up choosing me. It was fate, I tell you.
Okay, you found fate in a tavern brawl?
Well, it wasn't much of a fight. You see, there were these skinny-robed humans, barely twigs, that were sitting at the bar when one of our competitions broke out. There were chairs getting smashed, people screaming, tankards being used as clubs. Ah, glorious.
Okay. Whoops, sorry. We're done with the Gordons. Let's go back to the Morrowind playlist.
Well, everyone was having a good time when I noticed those skinny humans were just sitting there. Not even having the decency to pay attention. Just nursing Waters. Waters! So I asked them, well, shouted really, what in the hells they thought they were doing? Ignoring the fine entertainment and then insulting the establishment by not having ale?
You shouted at them?
And maybe I shoved one of them a bit. Or tried to break a chair over their skulls, since they were making a point of pretending they didn't hear me. Rude, I tell you.
Then what?
Ah, well, they used me as a bar rag first, and not a single punch I threw even hit them. Oh, they were moving too fast, and plus, I think I was seeing double or triple. Ugh, after they smashed my face into the bar a few times, they showed me the floor up close. The floor was pretty dirty by that point, by the way. Then, as the final blow, they sent me flying like a drunk hippogriff out the window. Magical it was. So, after I woke up and wiped the blood out of my eyes, and finally found all my teeth, I went back in and thanked them. Best beating I've ever received. They seemed a little taken aback by my friendliness, and it turns out they were part of some order. Son something or other, and get this, they devoted their lives to fighting with their fists. Can you imagine? Lifetime devotion to brawling. It's their lives, their craft.
So, they were monks.
They're monks, eh? Crazy water-drinking fools. Hope drinking water isn't what makes them fight like that. Anyway, that life sounded like destiny to me. I mean, those skinny excuses for humans were good. And then they spent their whole lives kicking the hell out of others, training for it. That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. My purpose was clear.
You know, that's not all monks do, right?
Huh? Of course it is. Well, as far as I could tell once my head stopped ringing.
But it's a little more cerebral than that.
You mean like headbutting someone? I already know how to do that, though sometimes I need to grab them by the beard or collar and yank their head down so I can hit it properly.
But it's not really about violence.
Oh, is that so? Well, I must have missed that part while they were wiping down the tavern with my face and throwing me through a window. Shows how much you know about it. You didn't see them in action.
Okay, never mind.
All right, go on and ask them.
So, I just want to know more about you.
Well, there's a great deal to tell, especially if we're going with clan history and our accomplishments. But chances are, and I don't blame you, you're just asking about me, personally. So let me give you the short version. I've been traveling the Sword Coast for a year or two, making my trade at villages and towns, and, well, making my trade at taverns as well, but you already had a taste of that at the Weeping Willow.
Right.
All right, go on and ask them.
What are you doing in Neverwinter?
Well, I hear there's an order of them tall-robed skinnies who have opened their doors to anyone who wants to learn how to smash skulls. And I plan on taking them up on their generous offer. It won't be the same as a tavern brawl to be fighting inside a different type of building. But I figure I can make the change as long as there are things to break and windows to throw people out of. All right, go on and ask them.
Kelgar, buddy, pal.
Well, there's a great deal to tell, and, well, making my trade...
Whatever. Hey, Nishka, how you doing?
What's going on?
Tell me a bit about yourself.
Me? Well, I don't know. I'm me, I guess.
Really? You sound a little surprised. Yes, well, it's just they removed me as a romance option, so a lot of my dialogue leans that way, but it doesn't actually lead anywhere, so...
No one usually asks, so finding the words is a little hard. Trust me. People usually make up the whole story once they spot the demon blood, if they ask at all.
Right. Well, I'd like to know. I am curious.
This is so exciting. Wow. Where to begin? Okay, well, I have no idea who my mom or dad was. I was abandoned, but raised by priests who tried to convert me, so I went away for a long time.
You were raised by priests who tried to convert you.
Yeah, priests of Helm. The Watcher. The Vigilant One. Kind to children. Were they a hard-headed bunch? Really up on the discipline, not so much on the caring and forgiveness. But they're priests of Helm, so what are you gonna do?
I'm sorry, not much on forgiveness?
Yeah, I mean, we all get into trouble sometimes, or a lot. And I guess they ran out of I forgive yous at some point. Anyway, so after helping myself to their collection plate after a particularly moving sermon, I decided to see what else I could help myself to. But you know, those tales could fill a book, and I don't want to chew your ear off. Maybe some other time. Questions. Go ahead. I'm all horns.
It's probably worth noting, and I know I've said this already in this very lore run, I personally consider Helm to be one of the most good of the deities, even though his alignment is actually neutral. But he's been pretty cool for a lot of Faerun's history. So you're a tiefling?
Yeah, but shh. Don't tell anyone. I wouldn't want anyone else to figure it out. I mean, aside from the horns and the traces of demon blood.
Right.
Questions. Go ahead. I'm all horns.
That's true. We can't have a romance with her. Whew. We're safe, guys. Did you ever heard of the term Kalak Cha before?
It's not demonic, but it does have a certain plainer tone to it. It's hard to explain. It's an odd dialect. But those Githyanki chasing you definitely aren't from this stretch of the woods. Maybe we could catch one and ask them.
What do you know about the Githyanki? Also, I'm not sure that's supposed to be name-dropped yet.
Well, the Githyanki are probably one of the worst groups of zealots you could ever have chasing you. The lower planes excluded. Githyanki are smart, even for religious halfwits. So I hope they haven't targeted you for some holy crusade, because then you'd be deep in the sticks, let me tell you. The thing is, they usually aren't this persistent. They have a set goal, they hit it, and then they're out of there. Plus, they don't usually stay on one plane for too long. The astral plane is their home.
So any idea why they're here?
Your coin's as good as mine. Could be anything, but whatever it is, it must be pretty important to them.
Right. Well, see you around. Hey, Bishop.
Be careful. You don't want to cross me.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna kill Bishop. That's why that's so funny to me. Anyways. So, yes, let's actually leave with party members this time. Oh, hang on. We're out of the tavern. No more Morrowind music, guys. Sorry. I think Bishop is technically neutral evil, but I'm not sure. He's an actual anarchist. Like, he really does believe in the opposite of organization and order. Yeah, he's also a moron. Alright, let's look at the food results really quick, because now we have to choose something else. Oh, wow. That's an interesting spread. No one voted for Arby's, Zaxby's, or Checkers. Out of curiosity, how many of you didn't even think about those because you didn't know what they were? Because I never heard of Checkers or Zaxby's until I moved into this area. So, who voted for no lunch? What in the world? What did I do? I'm sorry. Don't hate me for wanting to eat. We have to decide if we're doing the watch or if we're doing the thieves. I think I'm going to go ahead and make just a straw poll since we're already here, right? So, which watch, thieves? And we'll let you guys decide. Honestly, I am ambivalent on this one. But I do need you guys to choose, because that's basically the second to next thing we're going to be doing. So which shall it be? I mean, Cormac is a legend, but the Watch is a bunch of incompetent evil people, as we've already seen. So far we've encountered exactly 2 decent members of the Watch. But the other ones are thieves who are outright evil, who are actively trying to take over and kill and murder and destroy, and all the usual stuff. Why is it always murdering and destroying? Honestly, I'm not sure if I would call Bishop well-written. I'm actually going to defer to everyone else. What do you guys think? Do you think Bishop would qualify as well-written? Because I could certainly see it being debatable. Where the heck? Sorry, give me a moment, please. Well, that's useless. Let's do this. Greek. There we go. Interesting take on that, Carbon. Yeah, the problem is, Bishop is, in my opinion, the biggest reason why I don't like him is he is definitely the token evil guy. Like, straight up. Hi, I'm evil. And that's about where they go with it. I tend to feel the same way about Kara in many ways, even though there's at least a little bit done to flesh her out as a character. And, well, both of them have the problem of the lack of development thing because of cut content. So it's possible both of them could have actually been good. I just don't know and never will. You know, the only thing I don't like about this Greek place, their dolmatas are terrible. They're gushy. It's just weird. I only have 12 viewers right now? Seriously? Well, you guys continue to voot. Oops, I forgot I had Marwin still playing. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know, Dakota. I mean, honestly, it's probably just one of those, bad writing circumstances, or the writers didn't think it through kind of situations. I do like me a good Euro.
Coming back to the city was a mistake, Nishka. You didn't think you'd slip in unnoticed, did you?
No, I'm just surprised it took you this long to notice. So who's wasting their money on you this time, Benin?
I'm gonna say this real quick. You got problems with her, you got problems with me.
That's right, Benin. You think I'd come back without some muscle on my side? Well, you thought wrong, and I'm still waiting for an answer. You're too stupid to come here on your own. So who sent you?
Leldon's still got a bounty out on you, goat girl. He's even upped the price for those horns.
I'm sorry, who's Leldon?
Old partner of mine blames me for everything. He's apparently still got plenty of gold to waste, too. So what'll it be, Benin? Run now, or let me remove that empty head from your neck?
Brave talk, girl, but your luck's run out. I'm gonna send you back to the 9 hells, where your kind belongs.
Hey, home is where the heart is. And I'm staying right here in Neverwinter.
Time for a little fun!
Let me for brain.
Looks like Leldon's in for more hells. Was that all?
That's the spirit. A little battle was all we need to get the blood pumping. Almost wish they lasted a little longer.
I apparently have really low initiative because that took me forever to start casting. So I didn't expect to be attacked as soon as we entered the city.
Neither did I. If this is a slice of life within Neverwinter, we were better off outside than inside.
What? Mad that we're on my home ground now? Maybe you can sit back and be quiet while I show our leader around now. All right?
I am angry because those men wanted us dead, Nishka. Not out of some competition. We're lucky there weren't more this time.
Yeah, but we're still standing and they're not. Great, isn't it? I wonder how much the bounty is for me now.
So why is there a bounty on you?
I would like to know as well. It seems to happen a great deal, and I find it hard to believe it's all an accident.
Leldon still can't admit that he's the second best thief in Neverwinter. He's taken things a little too personally, if you ask me.
Uh-huh. I mean, he's trying to kill you.
Well, Leldon and I pulled a job about a year ago. Big haul, too. You should have been there. I was brilliant. So we get back to our hideout and start to divide up the loot, and that's when old Leldon demands a bigger share.
He just straight up demands a bigger share.
I'm the one who got us past the guards and past the trap at the vault. Leldon was just baggage. He claims he planned it all. Not much of a plan if you don't know the guard patrol routes or that the vault is trapped. If it weren't for me, he would have never have gotten past the front door.
So, go on.
So anyway, there's Leldon demanding a bigger share, and he's definitely planned this part out. He's hired Benin and his boys as muscle to make sure I agree. Well, the odds weren't in my favor. I'm delicate, you know. So Leldon and I argued for a bit, but I wasn't gonna win that one, so I got my tail out of there before Benin got antsy. What's worse is they didn't just take my share. They took everything I had. And I wasn't in much of a position to argue, you know?
So they robbed you, and now they want to kill you.
Oh, well, I couldn't just let things stand as they were. I mean, I am the best. Leldon's good, and he gets lucky sometimes, but he can't hold a torch to me. So I broke back into his place, stole all the loot, every last copper, and left a note explaining to him how I got past each one of his traps. I didn't get everything they stole back, especially some of the more precious things. But Leldon probably sold them by now anyway. Too bad. And still, I got back way more than my share. Well, you know, a few coins here, a few coins there. It adds up. I have expenses. And stuff.
Well, no worries. They attack you again, I will protect you.
Hey, thanks. You know, letting you team up with me was a really good decision. I mean, you actually helped me. And you insult me a lot less than the other people do.
Before echoing our leader's pledge, next time it would help if we knew there were people hunting you to begin with. And why, since they seem to have their reasons.
Oh, please, don't get all mad. Our leader isn't, and he's the one helping me. You're just tagging along, all right? Anyway, about this mess. I guess the watch will clean these bodies up. Or maybe there will be a rain or something. Let's go.
Well, awesome, Ginger Ninja. I look forward to doing that tonight after stream. Thank you. Hello, Oman. About 3 weeks ago at this point, I decided to make this part of the usual. Although, I'm debating if I want to start changing the shirt based on the type of stream, or the tie based on the type of stream, or both. I'm still debating that, but I'm definitely doing one of those three options. Augustus Caesar is someone I actually don't know all that much about, so I'm not sure I can actually talk about that at all. Other than to kill everything. Okay, Peregrine. Yeah, whenever a game gets serious, we take off the coat.
I'm disappointed.
I thought you'd be harder to find than this, Nishka. Leldon's been after you for some time now.
If I didn't want to be found, you'd still be stumbling around in the dark, Tremel.
What is with this variant sound volume?
Or I'll be coming for him.
We've already gone through this with Leldon and his other thugs. Walk away, and you'll live.
Leldon's not just paying me gold for this. He's also bringing me in as his partner, just as soon as I bring him your horns.
You're doing this to become Leldon's partner? Trust me, I'll be doing you a favor, killing you.
Oh, I know, Carvin. Last chance, Tremel. Walk away.
You're acting like this is some kind of choice. You're all marked, and I intend to collect. Come on, demon girl. Let's see if you're as hard to kill as they say.
Well, okay. Bye.
Leldon's more obsessed than I thought. I wonder how many of his goons will have to carve up before he gets wise.
Yes. Hi, Fuyuk. So what is it, Takoda? I think it's time we paid Leldon a visit.
I guess you're right. As much as I'm enjoying tweaking his nose, Leldon's getting out of hand.
I'm not certain Leldon is the one we need to worry about. At least he makes his grievances plain.
He'll be ready, though. Since he knows I'm here, he's got to know that I'll be coming for him.
Well, if you notice, the sun's literally rising right now, so that's why it's darker than usual. So, after all the trouble he's caused us, let's kill him slowly.
I don't plan to kill him. This'll be too much fun to ruin it by killing him. Look, Leldon's not going to give up. Trust me, he was my partner. I know him. He's got a soft spot, though. There's this coin of his that he thinks is lucky. He always has it with him on jobs. Couldn't stop playing with it. Real annoying. He's probably got it well protected, too. So I want to steal it out from under his nose.
Go on.
If theft got you and us in this trouble to begin with, I fail to see how it will solve matters by stealing again.
Don't you see? If I can get my hands on that coin, he might give up. After all, without it, his plans will always fail. At least he thinks so.
Right. You realize it'd be a lot easier to just kill him.
Yeah. And I won't be sorry if it comes to that. Still, it's not as entertaining. I'll take every chance I get to tweak his nose, but I'd prefer to rob him. It's got more style.
I don't think it's even a plan. It doesn't even make sense.
I prove I'm better than he is by getting around his guards and traps. He gets worried, loses his nerves, and the attacks stop. What's not to like?
I'll tell you what's not to like. Anyone willing to resort to murder over a theft isn't likely to stop because it's done to them a second time. And furthermore, it has nothing to do with why we're here in the city. Not at all. If we want to do something, we should seek out the Druid lore masters in Neverwinter Wood, as I suggested.
Oh, so is that your problem? That we're not doing what you want to do? Maybe you haven't thought of this, but maybe there's a reason you haven't come across any druids. Have you thought of that? Maybe they're all gone, or in hiding, or they just gave up their duties, kind of like you have by being in the city. I mean, why are you even here? Huh? Why?
Okay, chill?
No. She deserves an answer. You are right, of course. I should not be here. But I do not know where else to go, and the only clues as to what may have happened to my circle may lie with those shards. So yes, I do not wish to be in this city. I do not wish to be a burden, but I do not know what else to do to help. All I can think of is seeking out the druids in case they know what we can do. But I will go along with whatever our leader decides. If we help you, so be it. If not, then I will stand by that decision as well.
Well, all right. Maybe I wasn't explaining it well enough. But if we grab that coin from Leldon's stash, well, at least we'll have something to bargain with. He really likes that coin.
To be fair, Eleni really was in the right on that conversation. Not only did she answer forthrightly and honestly, but she's completely right about this being an incredibly bad decision. Okay, I pissed this guy off by robbing from him, and now he's trying to get me killed. So I'm going to go piss this guy off by robbing him. Deliberate antagonizement usually doesn't work out all that well. Even if you're walking around with basically a living god. That would be me, by the way. There's a reason they called me the Lich King. Alright. We'll do it your way.
Thanks. And believe me, I know what I'm doing. I've already told you I won't let anything happen to you.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, and I didn't want to spoil this, but Mike's just said it in chat, Nishka has not yet told us the whole story either.
The first step is to figure out where Leldon's holed up. I doubt any of my old contacts will want to talk. Looks like Leldon's got some influence in this district. Ophala would know where he is, though. She knows just about everything that goes on here and in Black Lake. Yeah, she might be able to help us. We should go talk to her.
Who's Ophala? You remember Ophala? She was the one in charge of the... definitely not a whorehouse.
She owns the Moonstone Mask here in the Merchant Quarter. It used to be a place for people who, needed some privacy. She's cleaned it up quite a bit since the war, though. I kind of preferred it the way it was, though. But hey, it's her business. Anyway, she knows about pretty much anything that goes on in the district. Not surprising, considering the kind of place the Moonstone Mask used to be. I'd prefer to torture the information out of Leldon's thugs. But I guess this way is easier, and not as messy.
Sure. And I meant the character, Dakota. Obviously, I'm a worthless nobody who nobody cares about, and when I die, nobody will even notice I'm gone. But at least my character is actually someone of significance, right? Isn't that why we play video games? Because real life sucks. Who's this random person? Oh, he's not voice acted. A customer, maybe? Deacon is pleased to see. A kobold? What in the nine hells is a kobold doing in the streets of Neverwinter? Deacon not mean harm. Please do not kill Deacon. Deacon come in peace, seek trade. Deacon say that so many times. Deacon tired of it. Sometimes wish people would just attack Deacon with sticks instead of ask. Deacon not go into dwarven caves. Deacon also not to blame if dwarves dig everywhere and then tell everyone else to get out. But Deacon gives dwarf many sorries. He knows how dwarves get, especially women's without beards. So you're a kobold? Yes, Deacon very kobold, but last Deacon look in mirror. Deacon not do that much. Mirror's usually too high for Deacon. It is worse to be forgotten than to die. Or hang on, it's better to die than to be forgotten. There we go. Gotta say it right. So what are you doing here? Deacon is bard, singer with scales, running from danger, writer of tales. Maybe you read some of Deacon's work. Hard to find sometimes. Deacon have to look very hard to see where books are. Sometimes find them in trash heap. You write books? That's horrifying, Dakota. That's too mean. I couldn't do that. Maybe like as a temporary thing, but not as a permanent one. Yes, Deacon write a few. Not carried so much in Neverwinter, but here they big in Icewind Dale. Of course, Deacon think they not much to do up there but read, but he had not heard so much with Icewind recently. Maybe on last legs, good as dead. Hint, hint, if you've played Icewind Dale. Deacon mostly write epic tales, big stories of travel, but not like Volo. Volo after quick copper. Deacon think he's not artist with higher calling like Deacon. So you're a traveler. Deacon little kobold, but big traveler. Deacon been to Shadowdale, Waterdeep, Underdark, and many mountains and forests and caves. Sometimes Deacon even stopped to look at places when not running and screaming in fear. Neverwinter next stop for Deacon, so here Deacon is. Deacon go where stories are. As long as stories are outside, Deacon very, very tired of being in dungeons and caves with bad people that throw spells at Deacon. Is Neverwinter that much of a change from Waterdeep? Neverwinter a little smaller than Waterdeep. Less squares and cubes, more shadows and hills. Get it? Also, glad land's not moving, like first epic story. Right. How'd you become a merchant? Oh, Deacon collect many strange things running around world. Hard to carry. Sit down for a moment on Neverwinter Street to catch breath, and suddenly people start coming up to Deacon asking to buy things from him. Deacon hungry, so Deacon figured, oh, that's alright. His back hurt from carrying all that stuff anyways. Good riddance to all that junk, Deacon thinks. Deacon not sure how long market will last, though. Big trouble's an area, very scary to Deacon. Deacon hear bad things in Luskan City. Luskan City smell bad, but easy to hide there. Right. So you write books? I think I already asked that one, which I did. You looking to do any more traveling? Please join me, Deacon, please. Deacon might move if Deacon had a little shop with a roof to keep rain out and cold out, and no white dragons and no one to call master. But Deacon doesn't know where that is, and Deacon try everywhere in Neverwinter. People don't want Deacon to move in. They say Deacon is vermin, attract more kobolds, nest in walls like rats. Well, if I find a place where you can set up shop, I'll let you know. Oh, Deacon thanks you. Deacon not picky, even few holes in roof good. Not mind cold too much. He's small, he could fit in tiny place. Even ruin's good as long as no monsters or golems, or statues. Deacon not like statues already. Already did duty as a statue before. Not fun. Join me, Deacon. Well, Deacon getting tired of Neverwinter. Deacon not miss adventuring life. Deacon probably need long break before follow after big hero again with pen. Deacon likes collecting and selling things and gives time to write between Undertide and Waterdeep. Deacon needs a little break from golems and mages and snake ladies. I'm sorry, golems? Oh yes, Deacon meet many golems in travel. So many golems and golem nostrils flaring. Very confusing to Deacon. Deacon doesn't understand why golems got so big, stomping around, smashing Deacon. Deacon thinks maybe mages feel small, so they make golems big to make themselves feel bigger. What about Undertide? Oh, Deacon remember lots of wind and ground moving, snake ladies. Deacon think maybe he should get snake ladies part more, but he was not much to like. Had to stand still a lot. Nose was itchy. There's also Dwarf Wizard too. Deacon miss him. Make chest hurt think about it. Aw. Let's just say Deacon happy to be out on solid ground, and that'd be enough for Undertide. Tell me about Waterdeep. Deacon actually not meant to spend much time in Waterdeep so much as under it. Kept going down and down and down. Made Deacon dizzy. And too many drow. Lots of drow. Didn't like to write about that part. Too many books about them already. Need more books about kobolds. Agreed. So, what do you got for sale? He sells nice stuff, actually. Like, legitimately nice stuff. And he has a decent range of gear, too. As you can see. Including up to +2 stuff. Let's get rid of this. You cannot sell items worth less than 1 gold piece. Darn. Alright, whatever. And yes, he has several prestige class outfits because, you know, he's been carrying them around ever since. And I want to make sure that I have a thing here. Okay. I just wanted to make absolutely sure we got that flag. We need to set Deacon up with a proper shop. Right? I didn't know that, Dakota. Alright, so we've talked to the best character ever. Wait, what's... Right. I agree with that, Baronessa. Deacon is awesome, and I think I made that very clear, I guess, 2 days ago now. Yeah, exactly, Blackwell. We need a proper shop, proper publisher. And in case he needs money, he needs a proper financier. One who is not interested in bilking him for money, but is interested in funding his adventures. If only we knew someone who fits all 3 of those qualifications. Are you sure you meant to come in here? I'm sure you'll find a more affordable establishment in the Docks District. I have 1,000,000 gold lying around. The Mask is no Cavern Tavern. Our goods and services are very expensive. You obviously can't afford it, so you'll have to leave. Are you always this rude to your guests? But you're not a... What I mean is it... Oh, never mind. If I don't see you spending coins, I'll have to throw you out. People. Nishka, perhaps now is not the best time to return. She looks completely different than in 1, by the way. Lilden is not in the best of mood since your last visit. I know, we already got his messages. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He has a gang of thieves and cutthroats now. He's become much more bold and more dangerous. You must either make amends or pay him back what you owe him, or owe him. I don't know that 2 copper thief, 2 coppers. If he can't guard his own share, it's his fault. Alright, so where is he? If you go to Leldon, you'll be placing your lives in danger. You sure you're able to do this? Yeah. I mean, seriously. Also, influence gained. Nishka. I don't know what that is, soundtrack. I feel very stupid for not knowing that. Someone asked earlier if Forgotten Realms was in the Imperium, and the answer is no. With exactly one exception. Anyways, he's in the Merchant Quarter. I'll mark it on your map. His estate is patrolled by good dogs. He's got anti-demon things. And, I heard this establishment was worse before the war. Why else did you change? Employees, clients. I feel better about myself as a result. My previous life has emptiness I no longer feel. Do you still have contact with the nobility? You're very attractive. What's going on Black Lake? Can you give me access to Black Lake? Goodbye. Okay. Just kind of rushing through that really quick there. And in lore, even though it's basically such a pain to do in game, I'm just going to assume in lore that I gave Deacon a bunch of money and said, here, you got this, Deacon.
And that's why.
Excuse me!
As I was...
Stop right there, kid! We've got ourselves a thief!
I was just running. I run fast.
What's this about a thief?
Check your coin purse. And don't even think of moving, child.
Please, sir. I'm just running. Can I just leave?
What? Why, you're right. My coin purse is missing.
You're going straight to the watch after you hand over that pouch.
I mean, yeah, she literally took the pouch.
I knew it. Hand it over, girl.
Sorry, good sirs. Just trying to get bread to eat. Please don't take me away.
What are you doing to her? She's just a little girl.
I don't think the guards will mind if the thief gets bruised up a bit before they get her. Yes, this game lets you threaten a child. Anyways. How would you deal with this? I'll ask you guys that, because... yeah... this is kind of a messed up situation, so... a couple ways to handle this. But it boils down to letting her go or tossing her into the watch, which... I mean, we've known exactly just how bad the dungeons are around here. To be perfectly blunt, I don't think anyone deserves to be tossed into those dungeons. I would literally consider it more of a mercy to kill them. So... I think I'll go with 3. You promise you never do that again, we'll let you go.
Oh, I promise. I'll never do it again.
That's enough for me. I've got my coin purse after all.
Just don't ever do it again, girl. You're getting off lucky.
Thank the gods you were here. Kids can get treated real bad on the streets.
Thank you. I owe you one.
And in lore, I give her like 50 gold or something and be like, here. Figure it out. Get a job or get a place to stay or something. Because, gosh darn it. No, that's not true. I'll tell you exactly what I do in lore. I hire her. Think about it. Think about the kind of intel I could get with someone like that. You don't steal, you listen. You pay attention. You tell me what you know. I keep you well fed, well taken care of, and well paid. Bam! That's exactly what I would do there. I turn to my GM, who's Baronessa for some reason. I'm like, Baronessa, this is what I want to do. And she says... and now I gotta wait like 30 seconds to get an answer, as she considers my offer. Meanwhile, let's go kill a thief. Another thief. Although, it's actually more like a burglar. Oh, no, not burglar. Hang on, there's a term for that. Robber, I think it is. Someone who hurts while also stealing. I don't know, there's terminology here. I don't remember what it all is. Moving on. Well, there's some thugs. And there's some other thugs. I wonder what thugs taste like. They lived through that? Oh yeah, by the way, obviously I did this off camera, but I did level up both Nishka and Kelgar. Oh, I just lost chat! No, I lost chat! No wonder Baroness is not responding to me. Hang on, let's reboot the chat. There we go. Anyway, so I actually built Kelgar, the world, as basically a monk, except he's a fighter. And I have built Nishka as the ranged rogue, and I'm actually pretty happy with her performance so far. Okay, I can see you now, Baronessa. So quick, Baronessa. I'm in suspense now, because you probably already answered me. Oh man, all these traps. What do I do? Other than waste all the money he spent on these traps. In all seriousness, this was actually kind of rough, doing this legit. Unless I was a fighter. Going through this as a fighter...
Of course you follow me. They all do.
Basically just means crushing everything like a bug in here. Oh my god, Kevin Sorbo is with me. There's only one way out. That's like the third suicide joke I've made today. I should chill a little bit. I know not everyone finds that funny. But I mean, I gotta be honest, like, Kevin Sorbo or death, that's kind of an easy question for me. I just lost chat again. What the hell? What is my internet or Twitch doing right now? Jesus. So if anybody said something, if you're wondering why I haven't responded, it's because I literally haven't seen it. Yeah, okay, I see some Comcast symbols in chat. Social suicide. I've joked about this before. It'd be the most popular stream I ever did.
All done.
Hey, Pilipalo. Pale?
Who in the Nine Hells would dare to break into my home? I'll gut the...
Oh. Hey, Leldon. I didn't mean to wake you up. Actually, I was just leaving.
Nishka. Finally got smart, eh? Come to pay me back?
Leldon. The thing is...
Save your breath. You'll need it to scream.
So this is a good time to mention that you'll notice her attitude is completely different when she actually interacts with him in person. So, I just find it interesting that she is legitimately scared of this guy when she's not talking about him in the distance, which again, kind of fits her personality. I'll be right back. I need to go pick up my Greek.
You don't have me outnumbered like last time. So if you want to fight, then come on. We'll carve you into bits.
All right, men. You heard the lady. This isn't over. I swear it.
Phew! Stupid smoke potions. He always does that when he's lost a fight. The coward. Still, that should have taught him a lesson. He'll never call me Goat Girl again. Hey, thanks for your help. We'd better get out of here before more of his men show up. Everybody, follow me!
I will lead now. Follow.
Yes.
You have need of me? Like it, son.
I find it funny that you're joking about that, Platy. Obviously, you don't know me that well. You only just started watching me relatively recently, but I'm actually extremely anti-slavery. No, I see chat. Do you guys see chat? Nope, chat is back. Chat just finished rebooting. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Sorry about the noise. Move along, citizen. Okay, okay. So already did that. Already did that. We already talked to Beat Deacon. We don't have that yet, so let's go this way. Well, that's not slavery at that point, though, isn't it, Baronessa? Although, we've actually talked about this topic several times before. The various different types of slavery that exist. So to be 100% clear, I am extremely anti-chattel slavery. The worst aspect of slavery? Oh, jeez, how do you pick just one thing? The worst aspect is that it exists. Alright, so I hope you all have finished voting, because we need to go join the Watch or the Thieves Guild now. Because, yeah, exactly, Bernard. So what's the worst thing of slavery? All of it. No human being deserves to be treated that badly. Just, yikes. Okay. There's the Watch. There's the back alley. Which is it gonna be? Oh god, why are you stabbing me, Baronessa? Alright, we'll reload the vote. I only have 19 viewers? Alright, guys, I'm gonna give you guys like a minute while I try to shove this food down my throat as quickly as I can, because I know you hate it when I eat. So I'm gonna try to eat as quickly as I can here. Ugh. Hate these bags. There we go. And in case anyone's curious what I got a gyro. With some fries, apparently. See? Gyro. And thank you to everyone who basically funded this for today. 61 viewers. Well, apparently those 61 viewers need to vote. Only a little bit, Haria. Here. Let me do this.